Rayman, he's got a big dick. Every single day he uses it as a walking stick. It's a third leg for him. He loves to walk around in the, I don't fucking remember the name where he lives. Glade of Dreams?
Glade of Dreams.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm 12, and what is this?
I'm 12, and Rayman's got a big dick.
No, you don't combine those two clauses?
I entered the channel right before you started singing, so I was greeted with twang and then Specs rapping. Distressing.
I don't know if
Distressing
you
day.
could call that rapping.
I'm not very good at freestyling. I can only,
Yeah.
I need to have time to write the lyrics down. You know, I've been spitballing an idea for a bit on a video where, like, you know how everyone will always be like, thanks to my Patreons, like leaving that completely blank because I don't have a Patreon, and just having an excerpt from Anthony Kiedis's book where he talks about having sex with a 14-year-old.
On which project is this going in?
Just that whatever,
Just
whenever,
sometime.
you know, I've got to get the news out there that the red hot chili pedos, as I like to call them, are not to be trusted.
The strange man who lived in my kitchen he used to say, I love peppers. And he didn't mean, you know, the vegetable. He meant I love the red hot chili peppers. So he would be distraught to learn this, I think. The strange man who lived in my kitchen.
He just lived there. That's where he lived.
He used to say all the stereotypes about people from Birmingham were false, but then he became all of those stereotypes.
Good for him.
He was the only true Birmingham
They call them brummies.
Brume.
You know, Birmingham's got more miles of canal than Venice.
Stop saying that.
He says it every time.
Stop.
He loves it.
Stop.
Tricky Sunday, Specs?
Shall we start? Do you want me to introduce this one, Catsman, or do you want to...
Don't. He'll
What?
do it in French.
Oh, will he? Oh, no, I
Yeah.
want that. Yeah. If you can do it in French, I'll let you.
Bonjour et bienvenue à déjeuner.org.uk. No, sorry, they say point. Déjeuner.org.uk, le podcast. Voici Animitch.
Bonjour. Fuck, what's up, guys? Don't fucking care.
Voici le chatman.
Où est la piscine?
Le chat homme.
Le chat homme, yeah. Oui,
Chat homme.
Exactement.
Mougletard.
Putain de merde.
Zoot. Blazer. Brute. I don't know what brute is in French.
Bordel de merde.
Et moi aussi, lunette. We have been slowly taken over by the French this year. We'll probably explain that later.
No, just him,
What do you mean, just me?
not me. I've held the border.
He took back control. That's what he did.
French is good, actually.
It's a funny joke language, yeah. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm learning it specifically to annoy my French friend, and I'm accidentally becoming French as I do, because if you do something ironically for long enough, you start to actually believe it.
Bran's not here, So we should talk about the book club game, which we played for Halloween
Yes.
last year.
Yes.
And I was so convinced we would do another podcast before the winter break that I did not take any notes.
We played Illbleed, which I think Mitch is maybe best positioned to explain to everyone.
Illbleed is a typical Dreamcast core video game whereby the graphics are simplistic for that generation, and there is no lip syncing, and they use the same voice actors from every other Dreamcast game. But the premise of Illbleed is that it is a horror haunted house simulation game, not to be confused with Ju-on the Grudge, a haunted house simulation game on the Wii. But you play as Erica, who is a young girl. Erico, who is a
Christie is her last name.
Who is a young girl with a sordid past where she was tortured by her father with horror nonsense, but she's picked herself back up. But all of a sudden, a new carnival amusement park comes to town.
Horrorland.
Called Illbleed. Horrorland, yeah. It is a competition. It's like Squid Games. Like, if you get through Illbleed, you'll get $1 million, but you'll probably die. And her friends think this is a great idea, so they all get tickets and go there. And you play through 6 stages that are all based on different types of movies. They're not really parodies of any well-known properties, but like there's a slasher one, there's like a Tremors one, and there's a Toy Story one.
Well-known horror film, Toy Story.
It's so good, but we'll leave that till the end.
What sets Illbleed apart from other horror games is that you're not really fighting enemies or collecting resources and managing resources. You have what's called a horror monitor, which is a shit name. It should be called a horoscope. But anyway, once you collect it, you're able to go into a first-person view, and it will tell you at the top of your screen, it will have like a little heartbeat sensor in like sight, sound, smell, and sixth sense. Even though there's only 4 senses, but you get to the sixth sense one. And when they ping, you can look around in the environment and tag different objects in the room. And if you're correct in what you tagged, then it won't scare you and cause you damage. And that's the main gameplay loop of the game.
There's also a shit kind of combat part of the game where occasionally you will just be attacked, and you can either fight back. In certain levels you have access to weapons, or you can kind of run to a helipad and get out that way by like summoning a helicopter to let you out. So your 2 ways of avoiding death are running away from enemies or beating them in a fight, and also correctly predicting where the jump scares are coming from. It should be noted, although this is a horror game, if you play it perfectly, you never see any of the scary material, because you neutralize the scares by guessing correctly, so you don't get to see the point of Illbleed, which is the fun, scary stuff. And that's really bad.
I mean, there's a lot of other fun stuff in Illbleed, even if you never see the jump scares. But yeah, I do think that there is a sort of like bag of contradictions at the center of the gameplay of this game, which is that like the concept of it is great, but there's not much depth or interest to the combat itself, and it's very awkward, and I really hate that the main character enters every combat by falling over while the enemies get free hits on her.
That's only true if you don't tag the combat before you enter it. If you tag the combat before you enter it...
You cannot tag some of the combats before you enter them.
Well, yeah. Okay, but that's to make it scary.
This is not a game that you play because you want a deep and interesting combat system.
Yeah.
This is a game that you play for the spectacle of the stupidity of it.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, yeah, I do have issues with the horror sensor gameplay as well, not just in the sense of you dodging the jump scares, but just in the sense of, like, by the time you're halfway through the game, it becomes very formulaic, like walking through long corridors and, like, waiting until it beeps over something and then selecting it and then going past it. I kind of feel like it would actually be a much better game if you had to like use your intuition and you didn't have that kind of info, but so many of the assets are like copy pasted throughout the game, there would just be no way to make that work. But all that shit doesn't matter, because Illbleed is amazing, because this game has one of the all-time great video game, I'm not going to say narratives, just like things happen to you in this game that if you haven't played it, I actually would say go away and play it now, because it is such a spectacle. It is so bizarre and creative pretty much all the way through. Even looking back at the filler levels, there are still like really funny things that I remember from them. Does anyone have any particular favorites they would like to offer up?
The worm economy. Definitely the worm economy.
Worm economy. Well, the second level is like you get a spiel at the start of the second level that's like worm prices are falling because one guy has produced 10 times the amount of worm meat of anyone else. It's like a dystopian future where everyone's eating worm meat, and this guy has like, I think he juiced up his worms with magic gasoline so they grow to like 20 times the size.
I think a worm just fell in regular gasoline.
Yeah, he like accidentally spilled petrol on a worm and it grew to enormous sizes and became his prize baby. The whole time you're playing through the scenario, he's like writing about how much he loves his daughter, and it's only at the end that he, of course, decides to reveal that she is a worm.
Yeah, and then at the very end of the level, you see his ghost and the ghost of the worm together in heaven. It's really funny.
No,
they're in
they
hell.
specifically say, the ghost of the man specifically says, all right, let's go back to hell.
Let's go back to hell.
It's wonderful.
One of his diary entries is like, I can't sustain my worm farm anymore now that the price of worm meat has fallen. Does anyone have any good ideas other than suicide?
So, like, all of the dialogue and scenarios in this game are just like that. People will just casually say the most bizarre things, like just the logic of them all going to this like murder theme park where they get $1 million but will probably die, like just like sets up perfectly the cartoon logic that the whole thing the whole thing rests on. But like, it's not done in a kind of like wink wink nudge nudge like haha isn't this funny kind of way. It's like it's played just straight enough to be genuinely funny on its own terms, I think.
Yeah, especially because the voice actors are like, one of your friends is Sonic the Hedgehog. It's Ryan Drummond. One of the girls is Amy Rose as well. I think Rouge the Bat is maybe one of them, because it is all
Rouge
just like
and
the...
Amy are the same voice actress, I think.
No, I think that... Are they?
Doesn't
Anyway,
matter.
it's interesting, like, a lot of the game is based on resource management, and the resource management is kind of janky because essentially resource management is go and buy a load of items before you start a level and then come in, and that's kind of important in the first 2 levels because you haven't made a lot of money yet. But then as you progress throughout the game, you have enough money just to buy like unlimited health items and stuff. We never really struggled after that. There's supposed to be a system where your characters that you save along the way, because you don't have to save them, but like you can save your other 3 friends along the way, and if you do, they count as an extra life. And then you can like between levels you can go to a healing chamber to like bring your dead friends back to life, and there's like an upgrade system where you can upgrade each of the characters you can play as. But by the time you have like picked up your first friend, you don't have enough money to upgrade your first friend, and your Eriko is already powerful enough that like you may as well just keep playing as her, and there are enough save points that you just save and reload a save if she dies. So it's kind of jank in that way as well.
I mean, the economy of the game in general doesn't make any sense, because also, like, making you buy items to take into the next level with you, and then taking away items that you don't use just means you have to, like, blindly make decisions about what you think will be helpful in the next level. I can't remember. I played the second level, and I was like, well, we used a lot of this kind of item in the first level, so I'll buy a lot of this. And then we didn't get the horror monitor, and I couldn't use the item I'd bought whatsoever.
Yeah.
And there's just like no way of knowing that. I mean, it doesn't really matter because the gameplay isn't the focus, and it's not that hard.
We weren't ever hurting for items, were we? There wasn't a point.
It's not a difficult game, even if you bring all the wrong shit, except that jump rope mini game, which might be the
Yes.
single most
But that's
difficult
like, there's
thing.
the same point right before it anyway. But that is the funniest. Like, this is the game laughing at you 100%.
Yeah.
And you can either sit there and get mad like some dickhead online who wrote like a 4 out of 10 review for IGN or whatever, or you can see the funny side of you having to jump rope 10 times in a row and it getting faster and faster and faster, and then the last one, it slows down again and fucks up your timing. You can either laugh along with it and say, aha, you got me, Illbleed, or you can be a fucking stick in the mud.
It's definitely part of the fun of it, I think.
I kind of like the level where you get turned into a wooden, like, artist's puppet.
Wood puppet, as he's called.
Wood puppet. That had, like, some nice themes going on, I think. It was kind of cool getting turned into the wood puppet so that you couldn't get zapped by electricity, and, like, that you had different attack animations when you were the wood puppet, because you could, like, spin your arms around and like, fly around with them, which was kind of neat. So, yeah, I liked that level quite a bit.
I'm trying to think of the other levels. There's the baseball hotel, there's the worm, there's
the killer department store, which is
department store.
Donald Cashman tells you everything you need to know. The ghost of its owner,
and he turns himself into a giant robot monster spider. Yeah. And the overarching story is, although each level has its own self-contained story, which is kind of like schlocky B-movie horror, like, you kind of go behind the scenes in some of the levels. One level is completely behind the scenes. Oh my god,
Probably
I just remembered that
honestly.
level.
It's a filler level, but even that has a sort of funny murder mystery sandwiched into the middle of it that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
No, it doesn't.
The game doesn't give you enough information to find out who committed a murder, and
but
asks
it was
you
clearly the character called Killer Man.
Yeah, it's like, who's
Maybe
dressed up as
not.
Killer Man and committed all these murders? And the answer is, it's a sentient Killer Man toy.
Yeah, it turns out nobody was the killer.
Well, we don't know because we didn't save everyone.
If you save everyone, you do get a different ending to that segment. I looked it up.
You finish the level and the level just says to you, guess we'll never know who was the killer. It's so funny.
We're expecting the game to tell us, and it just doesn't.
And you can't go back to retry the stages, as I thought you could, to grind for money. So you have to restart the whole game and do it better, or get a save, I guess.
Or New Game Plus, I guess you can do.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
New Game Plus. I want to quickly broach on New Game Plus because Illbleed has one of the biggest, horniest outfits I've ever seen in a game. In that you can rescue your friends in every stage you see them, but if you ignore them, Eriko gets progressively more undressed as her clothes rip until eventually she's wearing basically nothing at all, and I can't believe how fucking naked she is in that game.
She has like a strip of cloth over each nipple, and like she's wearing pasties. She's covered in mud, and maybe like a couple of bandages over her like butt and her vagina. Like that's it. That's all she's wearing by the end of the game. You don't get the real ending of the game unless you complete New Game Plus like this as well, in which it's revealed that Eriko's father, who is running Illbleed, is also an alien.
Oh yeah.
I think the secret ending is that Eriko is also an alien.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
crazy.
The regular ending we got, they're all on the beach, and then Eriko's like, oh man, something's not right. I gotta go back to Illbleed. And then the bad ending is you beat your dad, and then I think you take over Illbleed, I think. Oh, no. She, like, comes back and she's like, yeah, everything's fine. I conquered my fears or whatever. The good ending is Eriko beats her dad, but she gets so traumatized that the man has to now look after her because she's become a sniveling woman.
Oh,
yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog becomes, like, her life partner or
Her
whatever.
carer or something.
Yeah.
She's terrified of everything. And that's the good ending. So maybe that's another show.
Are we ready to talk about Court Goes to Hell now?
Yeah, let's talk about Court Goes to Hell.
The whole game is basically an incredibly elaborate excuse for one of the funniest Toy Story fan fictions ever penned.
It almost feels like the whole game is just an excuse to have this one level.
It is possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen in a video game. You get a little bit of foreshadowing of this in the mall level. You walk through like a toy department, and there is a parody of Woody the Cowboy, Woody Pride, as we now know his last name is, from Disney Pixar Toy Story, and his name is Cork. And you also see these dolls that like have a giant butt, and they're always faced to the camera, so you can just see her giant heart-shaped butt, and they're like branded as sexy doll. What you find out when you start playing the Cork Goes to Hell level is, one, this isn't a horror game anymore. You're going to be playing the role of Cork the Cowboy, and rather than neutralizing jump scares, you have to scan the scares to get the story of the Cork Goes to Hell level.
No. If you scan the story, it skips the story.
Oh, it skips it, doesn't it? Yeah, so you don't want to scan anymore.
The stupidest thing.
He is married to Sexy Doll.
Oh, Sexy Doll.
Who is buried with a 10-year-old child because she's his favorite toy.
Henry, sleep in peace. Here's your favorite sexy doll. She'll comfort you.
Cork has to go to hell to retrieve her spirit from hell because she's been buried in the coffin with her owner. It means she goes to toy hell?
Yeah.
So the owner goes to regular hell.
He'll just go to regular hell if he dies. He has to be buried with a child in order to go to toy hell.
You meet Buzz Lightyear, who is like a rocket ship with a Buzz Lightyear design on his front. What's his name? He's got a stupid name.
Um,
Can't remember. It doesn't matter. But he tells Cork that he has read the toy Bible, and if Cork is killed, then he will go to hell, and he can meet Sexy Doll.
According to the toy Bible I read a long time ago, you'll go to hell for sure if you're executed.
You mean I can rendezvous with Sexy Doll if they hang me?
Yep, that's the deal.
Yeehaw!
Oh, no. You've missed one. You've missed the point where Cork walks into a bar, is insulted by the patrons, and murders them all.
He kills 3 bouncing egg people.
Egg murderer Cork, go to cell number 577.
And he's sent to jail and sentenced to death. That's why he's talking about death in the first place.
Yeah. So he gladly steps up to the noose in a first-person cutscene where you see Cork put his head through the noose, and then Buzz Lightyear saves him and says, "I reread the toy Bible. You have to be buried with a child to go to toy hell. If you had hanged yourself, you would have just gone to regular hell."
What was that for? I wanted to die.
So the two of them get a gun and kill a child so that they can be buried with this child in his grave.
Here, we can use this and shoot that kid.
They say that the gun will render him unconscious, but the child is still put in a coffin and buried.
Your parents just jumped the gun on that one. Who has not done that? Who has not seen their child go to sleep and been like, get the coffin?
And then in the last part of the game, you fight the devil, who is a giant Sonic the Hedgehog parody called Zadik.
Zodic,
yeah.
the Hellhog.
Who, when you shoot him with Cork's gun, drops rings, and then you have to shoot the rings to kill him, which is hilarious. How they got away with this being published on a Dreamcast, I don't know. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I've not really got much else to say about this game. I think it's one of my favorite Dreamcast core games. Even though you skip them if you're playing it well, I think some of the jump scares are pretty fun.
You won't get all of them.
I love the bizarre jank animations that underlie everything. Several of the levels contain extended jumping puzzles, which are just about the worst thing on Earth.
Not that long or bad and not many.
It's really funny how whenever you neutralize a scare or kill an enemy, Eriko goes, "Cool."
Cool.
She does say cool so much. It's so aggressively gamey like with a helicopter landing pad and like a ladder coming down when you run away from combat, but that like comes down anyway. You can be like inside a house and like a ladder will still come and you'll like hear the noise of a helicopter above you for absolutely no goddamn reason.
I don't think we should call it a helipad, because it's more a spot. It's
Hella
a tiny
spot.
square.
A little H appears, and you have to step on it.
There's one level where like there is just a person stalking you, and every like 20 seconds you will just be thrown into a combat where you have to run away with the helicopter, and it's the combat can get frustrating when you have to do it back to back to back.
I didn't take any notes, so I cannot remember, but I do remember the aiming controls being absolutely abominable.
Yeah, aiming's not great, dodging's not great, combat generally is not great.
They're fine.
The music in the game, what little of it there is excellent. We have decided to dub the main theme of Illbleed jaunted house music, because it is jaunty and it's haunted house music. It's really, really good. And we found ourselves just kind of humming it whenever we were in the overworld. It's not a good game to play on your own. I think all of us would have tapped out really early had we not been passing the controller.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
I don't think the game puts its best foot forward when you start it. It's kind of fine, and then it's kind of fillery.
Home Run from Hell is a very
Home Run from Hell is dense, and there's a lot in it. But also, like, the game, if you play this without knowing, you will not find the horror monitor.
No, you will not. But there is a tutorial that's hidden.
There is a tutorial, and it's like tucked away into the very corner of the overworld where no one will ever see it.
I'm sure it will have been in the manual as well, which we didn't have access to, so whatever.
But it's like if you miss that, the game will not tell you, and you will just wander through the house without the entire main mechanic of the game. And it's just hidden in like a little corner. Like all it would have taken was one. I think if when you start the game it had one prompt that said the horror monitor is hidden somewhere in the starting area, go look for it. I think that genuinely would have completely changed the like critical reception of this game, if not the commercial reception of it. But definitely I think a lot of people must have played this or rented it and done that.
I think it's telling that Mitch has obviously played the game before and then went, no, you've got to find the horror monitor. No, you've got to find the horror monitor. And proceeded to spend like 5 minutes looking for it because he'd forgotten where it was.
I could not remember where it was.
It was more than 5 minutes. It took at least 15 minutes to find that horror monitor.
It was fucking funny, is what it was.
I could not remember where the fuck it is.
We almost got stuck glitched through a wall looking for it.
Well, that was your fault more than anything else.
Yeah, because that's what you do.
I like to glitch through walls.
And you couldn't, because this game is airtight.
Absolutely airtight.
It is not airtight.
There are some walls that you can jump through in this game. I've looked at speedruns since, and you definitely can.
Yeah, I've seen the speedrun. This game is busted.
This is the follow-up to Blue Stinger, which was quite well received, sold well, and was fairly critically acclaimed at the time it came out, I think, for like having a narrative structure and doing things differently. Blue Stinger looks like it was botched on the English releases because they changed the camera system and it's just not as good. So like we got a worse version compared with the Japanese version because of like upper management decisions, but it was still well received. They were hoping to knock it out of the park again with this one, and just I think even Sega was gonna publish this and then pulled out towards the end of production because they were like, I don't know about this one. So it got published by some other publisher.
It's pretty sad. I looked up the scenario writer for this game who had just written Blue Stinger in this, and like I think he died in like the mid-aughts without having produced another game.
Yeah.
And the guy is like a genuine auteur. I would have loved to have seen what he would have produced if given the chance. If given the money.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ideas. Like, although this game is bad to play, there's a lot of fun ideas here, and I think the reason it did badly was because it's just not fun to play the game, but it is fun to experience the game.
It was a late Dreamcast release. I think it was doomed from the very beginning. And they were going to port this game, but they were going to port it to the fucking Xbox.
I mean, that was normal.
They were going to port every Dreamcast game to the Xbox.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi, all Sega games. The Xbox was basically a Dreamcast 2.
Well, it was supposed to be backwards compatible. Initially, they were talking about having backwards compatibility with the Dreamcast on the Xbox.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah, that would have been the console, you know?
I feel sorry for fucking developers like this that hitch themselves to Sega's fucking inept wagon.
Cool.
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 All that remains is to spin the wheel.
Let's spin that wheel, boys.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Come on, replay.
Oh god, I hope it's not right play.
The Misadventures of Trombone.
Oh, the Misadventures of Trombone.
Hey. Okay.
Do I have to have played Mega Man Legends to understand this?
No.
It's a spin-off. Okay, I'm looking forward to this, because I like everything about Mega Man Legends except the fucking horrible controls.
Is this also a Mega Man Legends Z sort of like third-person adventure action game?
It's more like a,
Treasure Delver.
yeah.
Or Dungeon Crawler, as they're known as.
It's a bit dungeon crawly, but there's other stuff in there as well. And it's all about paying off the Bond family's enormous debts by like doing various lines of work, if I recall correctly.
Oh, it's the boring parts from No More Heroes.
Sexy doll!
Okay, so every year Pornhub puts out their insights in which they have a number of useful demographic informations about every country in the world that is able to access Pornhub, so not the UK anymore, but also like every state in America, and they rank like the most searched terms for every state in America, every country in the world, so you can see that like, you know, you can say, oh, more conservative states like cucking videos more often. And things like that. But they also do who is the most searched for fictional character, which is what we're going to work through here today. So give me a second to get this up.
That's what Pornhub's for.
Okay, so we're going to do most searched for video games. Now, the top spot is different than it was last year, but hasn't risen very much in comparison. I don't know if anyone remembers what the top few spots were. There's always a couple of key video games that make it quite high up into the searches. Anyone want to take a guess at, if you get any of the top, let's say any of the top 5, I'll give you a point.
Overwatch?
Overwatch? Okay, which spot do you think Overwatch is in? It is in the top 5.
I would say 2?
No, it's number 4 on the chart, and it hasn't moved position since last year. But yeah, Overwatch does get a lot of traffic on Pornhub.
That's really funny because Overwatch's own cultural footprint is shrinking enormously, and yet it has the exact same traffic on Pornhub.
I think the thing about Overwatch is I don't know if the models are easy to rip and put into SFM, but if you think about like what goes well in Source Filmmaker, that's how a lot of the porn is made.
Yeah.
And so that's why Overwatch does well. There's a lot of high detailed porn models of the Overwatch characters. Other than Zoot, anyone want to take a guess at the other 4 in the top 5?
I pick Lara Croft Tomb Raider because I think that's there every single time.
Tomb Raider is in the top 20, but it's not in
Oh.
the top 5.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider's right down the bottom of the list.
Wow.
But Lara Croft will probably be one of the most searched for characters. We'll do characters later. This is just video game franchises.
Oh.
we're
Please
doing.
tell me that Minecraft isn't still in the top.
Oh, hell yeah.
Minecraft has risen.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess at which number?
I'll go 2.
Number 3.
Oh,
It was in 5th last year. It's now in 3rd.
Civilization. You know what? The US national security strategy was right. Western civilization is dead.
Civilization is not in the top 20.
Thank goodness.
Any of those like fucking like shooters that like teenagers play? I can't remember any of their
Valorant.
names, but they're like Valorant and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're missing perhaps the most obvious shooter.
Fortnite!
Yes, Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. That's the obvious one.
Fortnite is number 2.
Oh,
Please tell me Roblox is not number 1.
I was about to say.
Roblox is not in there. Valorant
Thank
is in at
fuck.
number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10. Valorant is number 10.
That's surprising because those character designs do nothing. Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, Marvel Rivals is probably
Marvel
still there.
Rivals is new, coming in at number 6.
Yep. Okay.
Mm.
respect to the Marvel Gooners. Keep up the good work.
Do you want a hint for number 1?
Yes.
Go for a cheeky little hint.
It's not anime. That's your hint.
It's the opposite of anime.
Gears of War, mate, telling you.
This could be anything. You know how many multitudes of things aren't anime?
But it's very specifically not anime.
Oh, is it Genshin Impact?
It is Genshin Impact has risen
Yeah, okay.
to number 1,
What?
overtaking Fortnite from last year.
That's fucking stupid.
Of course it is, because that's where the other Gooners are.
Every Genshin Impact character looks the same.
Okay, let me explain why this is. So not only do you have like modeled sort of SFM stuff going on with Genshin Impact, but there's a lot of cosplay pornography of Genshin Impact characters. So I think the majority of the Genshin Impact searches are actually going to be from people's like OnlyFans, where they're dressing up as different Genshin characters and performing lewd acts.
Unbelievable. The Chinese government would not approve of that. Or the UK government, for that matter.
In at number 5, Pokemon.
No?
Yeah.
Anyone want to guess the most searched video game characters? So again, we'll do top 5. I'll give you a point.
I'm gonna guess Mercy Overwatch.
I was gonna say Tracer.
Okay, yeah. We do have an Overwatch character in the top 5. It's
Ooh.
neither of those.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be one of those new ones they keep adding to desperately try and get people playing Overwatch again.
Is it Diva?
It is Diva in at number
Diva,
4.
yeah.
And again, I think that's due to ease of cosplay, because you can quite easily get a bodysuit like Diva would wear, and then all you've got to do is like draw on 4 pink slashes on your face, and it's like, there we go, I'm Diva.
Yeah.
Very easy one to cosplay.
Yeah.
And then you can go nerf this.
You can go nerf this and get your willy out.
And then rip ass, even though that was an edit, and the lady who did the original got really mad.
We've still got 4 in the top 5 spots that we can guess at.
I know Fortnite characters have names, but I can't remember any of them.
No Fortnite characters.
There'll be loads of Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and other characters that we just don't know.
There aren't, actually, no. The top Genshin Impact character is a slime in at like number 10.
Emma Frost.
I was gonna think Emma Frost.
No, the Marvel
Ooh.
characters haven't made the top list.
They haven't.
Interesting.
Is Lara Croft up there?
Lara Croft is in the top 5.
She's always in the top 5.
Evergreen.
Mitch's dad is keeping her there.
She hasn't moved position as well. She occupies the same position as last year.
Is it 5?
No, she's number 2.
Interesting.
Number 2.
Samus?
Samus is in about like the 15th spot, I think.
Interesting. Chun-Li?
Chun-Li is 3rd. I missed her. Chun-Li is in the top 5. She's 3rd.
Bruce, I'd like to solve the puzzle for number 1 answer.
Okay.
Tifa Lockhart.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She has risen 2 spaces from 3rd to 1st this year, possibly because people have been watching Italian politics recently.
You can't
Yeah.
say
That was
that.
ages ago. Ages ago.
Well, Final Fantasy Remake, not Integrate, whatever they call the second one,
Rebirth.
was
Rebirth,
was a couple of years ago now.
Also, very easy to cosplay. All you need
Yep.
is a black mini skirt and a white tank top and some MMA gloves, and you're good to go.
Don't forget the suspenders.
And suspenders would be good, yeah. And then in at number 5, it's a Resident Evil character.
Oh, it's gotta be Jill, surely.
Nope.
Oh no. Claire? No, not Claire, surely.
Ashley?
No,
It's gonna be a man, isn't it?
Oh, is it Leon? Because Leon's the sexy man.
it's not Leon, no.
Well, I don't know then.
It's Ada Wong.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Ada Wong at number 5, Lady Dimitrescu at number 6.
Oh, naturally.
Really interesting one. In at number 7 is 2B from Nier Automata. Was not on the top 20 list before last year.
Tubi's big butt.
The Renaissance.
The other things to maybe talk about are comic book and sort of TV characters. I'll just see if there's anything interesting in there.
Number 1, Oppenheimer.
No.
Do you-
Is there a number 1 comic character?
So this is movies and characters, and this is a franchise in at number 1.
I can't even think of a movie franchise that people like.
I mean, I was gonna say Marvel.
People don't like that anymore.
Number 2 is a Marvel character.
It's Spider. It's Ghost Spider.
It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is in the number
Spider-Man.
2 spot. Number 1 is Star Wars.
Only boomers are searching for film characters on Pornhub.
Yeah.
I'll give you the list: Star Wars, Spider-Man, Game of Thrones, Harley Quinn, Harry Potter, Black Widow, Wonder Woman, and then my favorite, because she made the top 10, Elastigirl.
Yay!
Nice.
Well, yeah.
Elastigirl is beating out Catwoman, Power Rangers,
should.
Avatar, Batman, Princess Leia.
Is that Bluefucker's avatar?
Yes, probably. Slap bang in the middle of the top spot is Shrek. He hasn't moved position. He's just in there.
Stable.
He's beating out
Evergreen.
Deadpool. He's beating out Star Wars
Evergreen, I get
Rey.
it.
He's beating out Hulk. So Shrek is sexier than Hulk in the green sexy
In the Green
man.
Man department.
Yeah.
I know people think Shrek is funny, ironically, but surely you wouldn't search Shrek on Pornhub ironically, haha, Shrek, I'm having an ironic wank.
That's the best type of wank, is an ironic wank. SpongeBob is just peeking into the top spots as well.
Come on.
No, that's just because kids are searching SpongeBob on Pornhub.
That's why I suspect Roblox is on there.
Yeah, probable. That or people are making porn in it.
Or yeah, you can just go to the porn servers in Roblox. You don't have to
Yeah,
go to Pornhub.
that's a good point. I think, the kids these days, they don't even need to go to Pornhub.com.
Kids these days, they don't know.
Back in my day, we went to a computer in the woods that had Pornhub on it.
It was a hollowed out trunk in the backyard. It had a bunch of Playboys in it.
I just used to go to my attic, actually.
Yeah.
The top 5 or 6 search terms have not changed at all since last year, and they are. Do you want to guess the top one? Because it is potentially relevant to our interests.
Feet.
What does that mean?
No,
Nah.
feet are not in the top 10.
Japanese.
You're close.
Asian.
Less close.
Anime?
Closer.
Hentai.
Hentai is the
Hentai,
top
okay.
most searched for porn term on Pornhub in 2025, followed by MILF, Pine, Lesbian, Anal, Big Ass.
Yeah.
My sexy doll.
My section doll.
Anime is the 7th most searched. Femboy is up 15 points.
Ooh,
Damn it.
Love to see
I
it.
knew I should have
Stocks
bought
are rising.
stocks in Femboy.
If we spend any more money on Femboy, we'll be
To the
bankrupt within
moon!
the month.
Did somebody say Femboy?
Because Bran's here.
Wow.
Yay!
Hey, Bran, how are
Hey.
you?
Bran's not a femboy, he's chiseled.
What the fuck?
Wait. I know how to introduce him in French. Sorry. Voici flocon de son.
What'd you just call me?
That means bran flakes in French.
Oh. Well, thank you. I'm here now.
Welcome.
You want to talk about what we played in 2025 and what we liked?
Yeah.
I will set down a rule now, which is if we've all played it, we can have a longer discussion about it. And if only one of or two of us have played it, just give me a short pitch, why you think I should play it.
Okay, I'll start us off. Me and Moogle will have similar ones to talk about. So I think my game of the year, and I'm going to emphasize the word game here, the game with the best
What does
game.
that mean?
So it'll become apparent once I get into this. I think the best game I played last year was Blueprints. It is a very refreshing puzzle game which takes the form of I guess it's a roguelike, where you are drafting rooms to add to a house, to explore the house, to get to the final missing room of the house, and you solve puzzles along the way, which are contained both in the rooms that you draft as well as in the grounds of the house, which are always accessible to you. You make little bits of progress as you go along by getting new items from the house, combining items in the house, solving puzzles. This is the first game maybe ever, or at least since I was a child, where I have kept a notebook of clues, hints, thoughts, things like that next to me as I've been playing, and I had an absolute whale of a time becoming obsessed with things like sort of going through the fake books in the invented books in the game that say things repeatedly to you, like if you had a new clue, you'd know what to do. While Moogle just made sort of encouraging noises in the background if I was getting towards anything I actually had to be doing. Absolute excellent game.
Real gets in your head type game.
Yeah.
Also, fantastic soundtrack and fantastic kind of like world building and story that like quietly unfolds in the background of the game, intertwined with all of the puzzles.
Yeah, the puzzles directly teach you about the world of the game, and then it's like, I think one of the defining moments of the game was me walking into a classroom I had drafted, because you can draft up to 9 classrooms in your house, and being presented with a final exam on the desk of the classroom, and being like, oh shit, because a timer starts as soon as you walk into the room, because you have 30 minutes to take your test, and it's all based on like the history of the world and the esoteric math functions that you've learned along the way, as well as like you learn part of a new language as some of the puzzles, which are not just relevant for this test, but relevant in other places where you can read people's diaries and letters to each other and stuff. It's great. The world building being intertwined with the puzzles is amazing.
The classroom final exam is a really excellent moment for almost everyone that plays the game, because part of the way that the game works is you draft a room into a spot and then you open the door into the room, and you just open the door into the room and it's dimly lit except for one desk in the middle of the room that's got like one sheet of paper on it, and then the soundtrack, whatever it's doing, it stops and it has this like steady heartbeat track that plays just to put you on edge. It's like, oh god, what the fuck have I opened the door to?
It's a great game to play with a friend or with a group of friends, so you can work through the puzzles together if you're all playing from the same starting point where you don't know the answers. It's a little bit tricky playing with someone who's already played it, because they have to be very good at giving you subtle hints without making you feel like they're solving the puzzle for you, which Moogle's been very good at for me, and MD also helped with as well because he'd played it. But yeah, it's really good. You should go into it without knowing much about it. That said, I have spoken to a few people who have also played it, some of my friends who really didn't get on with it well. I think you can bounce off it quite quickly if you don't make progress early on. I had an absolutely killer first few runs in this game and like got through the first chapter of the game incredibly quickly, so I was hooked very fast, whereas they took a lot longer to get to the same place I had got to. They'd already got frustrated and kind of given up. So I think that's something you can't really account for with it being a roguelike, and I wonder if it would have been better not being a roguelike and just being a puzzle game, because the roguelike serves the early portion of the game very well. As you get further into the game, it becomes frustrating just trying to draft the right rooms over and over again.
I think that there's a number of different problems with the game, but you also wouldn't be able to have as many rooms as they have in the game if you had to limit it to them being in specific places. Like, the roguelike aspect means that you can have more rooms than are available in any one house at one time.
Yeah, it's difficult because also part of the roguelike thing is, well, once you get far enough into the game, you have the tools to pretty much always get the rooms that you want unless you have a bad day. It's very good in the early game at having multiple quest lines, I guess you'd call them, going on at one point, so you are making progress at least somewhere in lots of different areas, but then towards the end of the game you're kind of railroaded towards one goal, and if you're not able to pull what you need for that one goal, it can be quite difficult.
The way that the game layers puzzles is really nice. Most of the time you will have, as you say, like several goals at once to try and solve, and I think it's very easy for a lot of people to tunnel vision in the game into going, well, I've got to solve this one thing. No, I've got to solve this one thing. Why aren't you giving me the room that I need to solve this one thing? Just go do something else. Is most of the time. The game kind of converges to a single point maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of however long you play it for. And generally speaking, if there's something that you can't do, go and do something else is the general answer to it. You've also generally got more than one way of solving each puzzle as well. There's generally more than one way to skin a cat, which is really good.
Any final thoughts on Blueprint?
John Blow, stop making games, and whoever made this one, like, make more of these.
My one phrase tagline for this game is, it's like The Witness, but good.
Ooh.
The other game that I want to talk about, which I think is perhaps the best experience of the year, but not the best game of the year, which is why I emphasized game, is Expedition 33. which I don't think we need to talk much about why Expedition 33 is good. It has won every game award going this year. I think we should talk about why it's bad and level some criticism at it, actually.
I absolutely loved this game, but I want to spend this whole time complaining about the things I didn't like about it, because it really does feel like, with all the praise that's been lavished on it, that everyone has just been completely blind to the very obvious flaws.
I've been thinking a lot about this today, and the balance in this game is fucked.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's fun that you can build a whack-ass, crazy, powerful team. It's fun that you can parry enemy attacks and then reverse all their damage. But it leads to a very interesting curve in kind of the difficulty, in that if you go grind or if you go do an optional area, you become too powerful for a lot of key events in the game, and you don't get to see the full experience of certain boss fights, which happened to me. It also means that by the end game, sure, it's the end game, not everyone needs to complete everything. You don't need to 100% a game. I will probably do as much of this as I want to and then leave it when I get frustrated. But it means that the harder challenges in the game are very reliant on you being able to perfect parry or perfect dodge every encounter, because every enemy will just wipe your health bar from the face of the earth if they even sneeze at you. And that's a very bad way to balance a game that's a turn-based combat game, I think, because it's very much reliant on almost being Punch-Out, I suppose, in a way.
Oh, it's not nearly as good as Punch-Out. Okay, I have two big criticisms, which are, number one, like you said, the dodging and parrying, there's no way to balance the game such that you can have fun combat, turn-based combat, and fun dodging and parrying. Because the dodging and parrying is so powerful that if you're good at it, you don't have to engage with the turn-based combat at all. You can completely ignore all of strategy and even most of character building and still win. On the flip side, if you're bad at the dodging and parrying, every single enemy will completely wipe you, regardless of how good you are at the other game's systems. So it sucks. It sucks the whole RPG element of the game away, basically. The second thing is that I think the dodging and parrying itself is bad, because I think the enemy animations are bad, because the game has a terminal case of Dark Souls-itis, where enemies will aggressively feint and perform fake-outs and just do weird animations that where it's very hard to predict when the actual window for dodging or parrying is going to be. And what this means is that you're not intuiting, you're memorizing. And I think people who play it get the impression that they are becoming good at the game when they are actually just memorizing attack windows. And it's very frustrating because, I think memorizing attack windows is a very boring form of gameplay. And I don't appreciate it when an enemy jumps at me and then literally pauses in midair to throw off my timing, because I feel like that's just a mean trick. You can't see it coming. You've just got to eat shit once and then remember it. That ain't gameplay.
Yeah.
That said, everything else about the game, story, impeccable. I was a skeptic at first, but it turned out really good. Artwork, environment art in particular, some of the best environment art I've ever seen in a video game. Music, excellent.
I really like the enemy character designs a lot. Generally, the character designs are good. I like that the game is quite happy to poke fun at itself. If you can collect these costumes that are just all the characters with a baguette strapped to their backs, and if you wear that into the final conflict in the game with every character, the final boss is also wearing a baguette, which is hilarious. There's great designs like the Gross Tet, which is just a giant head. Like, there's lots of just weird characters, which is cool. I was thinking about the combat. So the analogs to the combat in this game would be, I think Legend of Dragoon has something similar, but I haven't played it, but also Paper sorry, bleep that. Paper Plumber and well, I can't say his name, and Bertoli, the Superstar Saga series, in which you also have the opportunity to turn enemy attacks back on themselves. In Paper Plumber, for instance, you can block or you can super block enemy attacks. The super block timing is like 1 or 2 frames, and so there's a lot of risk with going for it. The regular block just halves the damage you take, or like reduces it by 1 point. Whereas in this game, if you dodge, you take no damage, and you get a resource for dodging, which is AP. And also, if you counter, if you parry, then you get 1 AP generally per parry if you've equipped those skills, which you would be silly not to, really, if you're parrying. And then you get to do a shitload of damage in return. So, like, I think
it's crazy.
The parry system is good and it's very fun, but it makes you too powerful, and it should just either reduce damage or negate damage for a very well done block, or reduce damage for a partially well done block.
I think a small damage reduction, the game would have had the same effect. And a small amount of bonus damage for parrying. I also think that the dodging and parrying is so egregious that it eats the character building, which is one of my favorite systems in the game. Like, this game has an amazingly expressive character building system, and it lets you put together bizarre, broken builds. And it's not a coward's RPG that makes, like, status effects and buffs and things useless against strong enemies. Like, you're expected to create builds that rely on inflicting statuses and debuffs and buffs and all of that stuff, and that's really fun. But again, doesn't matter, because I dodged the attack, I'm alive. I didn't dodge the attack, I'm dead. I parried the attack, the enemy is dead in turn 1. It's like, where the gameplay's gone? No, bring it back.
It's interesting because I think you're right in some instances, and it's specifically the bosses where you're mostly right. For the general enemies in the game, parrying is actually not efficient. You don't want to even let them take turns. They shouldn't be taking turns at all, the normal enemies. And in fact, neither should you, because the optimal way to play the game is to set up an automatic suicide build that just does damage cap against the enemies. That is by far the most efficient way to play, or not to play the game, because you're not really playing it at that point. But you're playing the character building side of it at that point, which is interesting. Having looked at this quite a bit, it is entirely possible to beat the hardest difficulty of the game without dodging or parrying. People have done so. It's counterintuitive as the way you can do it.
Okay, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I don't count things as being possible as them being game design.
It's not like, and you're not reliant on RNG either. This is like, when I say possible, it's you can math it out and just do it.
I've seen the runs as well, and like it actually requires minimal grinding, which is interesting, but it's definitely not like, it's not the way you would play the game the first time. It's not the way a normal playthrough will be.
Yeah, it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive in the slightest. You can build your characters more generally around like playing a traditional turn-based RPG and still have a fun time with it, including the bosses as well.
But the game doesn't expect you to. The game tries to incentivize you so much to learn to parry and dodge that you would almost think that the game wouldn't let you do it that way. It's expecting you to at least dodge and parry a little bit.
It is completely designed for dodging and parry, so...
Yeah, the AP economy is really bad if you're not doing it, because you get an extra... I mean, the first thing you get in the game to character build is an upgrade that gives you 1 AP for doing a perfect dodge. So like that's 1 AP extra per turn that you could be building. Parrying gives you 1 AP extra, and then you get more later on in the game if you want to unlock them as well. I do think that there's an aspect of the game which is less about the gameplay isn't whether you're dodging or parrying or whether you're not, whether you're doing your turn-based stuff. It's purely about the character builder and building an engine that just breaks the game. And I like that.
That's the thing I really liked about it, yeah. In general, I would say I like it when I play a game and it gives me things that I've not seen in any game before then, and that is, I think, the number one like selling point of this game is that it is truly unique. There's not really any other RPGs like it. Occasionally it plays with like RPG tropes, but
it knows what it is.
Yeah, I know people have compared it to Final Fantasy X, but I do think it is like a completely unique experience.
It plays with a number of genre conventions, and the one that I like the most is the Final Fantasy X thing, where it tells you in exhaustive detail who's taking a turn for the next like 10 turns, because you can see that on the board, and that's really good because it allows you to strategize and plan around what you're doing. So I like that. The breaking things part of it comes very much from Final Fantasy VIII, which is almost universally considered like the black sheep of that era of Final Fantasy games. And like people generally like to shit on it in many ways. But the designer of the game, I think, has said that that was my primary inspiration for breaking the game, was just to let the player loose with it. Like don't fuck them about just because it seems like you shouldn't be able to, which I think is really good.
It feels really good that you can make your own strategy with the characters, because they are although they've each got their own niche, they're very much customizable to what you want to do. I think there is a slight problem with, again, in the end game in particular, it's fine for the majority of the game, and you can experiment and you can use whatever party you want, and that's great. I think towards the end of the game, when you're doing the end game content, there is some best build stuff that you will tend to find, and then
it kind of flattens out towards the end. With this, particularly with certain abilities that characters get as certain pictos you find, where it's just like, well, I'd be an idiot not to use this.
Be rude
one.
not to, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But I think it's an excellent game. It's an excellent experience. I think gameplay-wise, the reason I've really stressed that Blueprints has perhaps the best gameplay of last year from what I've played is it does something so unique and so special. And Expedition 33 has an excellent story and art and everything surrounding it. And the gameplay is good. But, at the end of the day, it's a turn-based RPG.
The writing and voice work is also absolutely fucking stellar.
Played in French, it's better.
Yeah.
The French voice
don't play in
French. French is excellent. The French voice
Only
is
play it
really
in French
good,
if you are French.
Je suis français.
You are not.
I like an RPG that was designed for people who are exactly 33 years old.
Yep, that's correct.
I finished it like a week before I turned 33, yeah.
We are the exact target age demographic for this game.
I'm old and busted and gommaged, I'm sorry.
I guess I have to wait a couple years to play it.
Alas.
Well, you will be, because you have a big, long to-do list. Bran, do you have any video games?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I'll talk about one that Moogle has played, and this is my personal game of the year, is Silksong.
Yes!
I was not a big Hollow Knight person. I played it, and I didn't have like the best experience with it, and I think that mostly is just because I played it exclusively on my shitty 6 a.m. bus ride commutes before I had moved to the city, and so I think it really kind of soured my experience with the game. But Silksong was such a huge event; it was only $20. I was like, sure, I picked it up, and it hooked me for like a good month and a half or so. I did basically everything. Well, I got 100%, but weirdly in Silksong, 100% isn't actually doing everything. What it considers for 100% is kind of arbitrary. But I was absolutely in love with this game. I think the discourse around some like the runbacks is like really overblown. There's only like one or two of them that is like kind of annoying, and there's like ways around it for both of them. But the combat is just so good.
It's a very like Catsman thing of me to say, but I just think fucking like Souls players are like fucking brain dead and don't understand that in video games it used to be that you would play the level and then fight the boss at the end of the level.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard the word run back until the discourse about this game.
The crazy thing is that like old Souls games had plenty of run backs. I just think that like, I don't know, they've been sanded away for so long. So like when a game now has them, there's like, this game sucks because it's got like, I've got a friend who's like a big Souls fan. He's played like all of them, and he like bounced off of Silksong because he was getting like tired of the run backs. I'm like, they're not that bad, dude. Like
the challenge they're presenting to you is do the level, do the platforming, beat the boss.
And the platforming is so fun that like I don't care that much.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I bounced off Hollow Knight when I played it, mostly because I didn't like the movement. So I'm going to play this game this year because the movement looks absolutely sick.
Silksong moves. Oh my god.
I like games with sick ass movement.
The amount of stuff that you can do like per air, because you have like 2 different dashes and a double jump and like a wall cling, and they all refresh when you wall cling. So you can just like zip around and like never touch the ground. And like the dive, I really enjoyed the dive kick. It like makes you think of the game in like angles, and it's like I'm so used to just like, oh, attack directly below me, but that's actually not something that you can easily do. So you, like, positioning is like really important in this game. You don't have to use the dive kick. There are your main attack is very customizable, and you can just use like the downward. There's a downward one that you can unlock, but I rocked the dive kick the whole way through, and I got very used to it, and I loved it.
It's a very clever game.
The dive kick presumably gives you a burst of like diagonal speed downwards, which can really help to improve the platforming, presumably.
Yeah,
as
and
well,
you
right?
can control how long it lasts. Like if you hold the button, like when you release the button, the dive kick ends. So like
That's pretty cool.
you have like a decent amount of control over it. So it's like easy to like bail out of it if you need to. You can bail out of it, I think, with like your dash as well.
Yeah, most things are dash cancelable, which is great. Like, repositioning is really easy. And there's mantling on the edges of platforms, which you can turn in, not just a mantle onto the platform, but you can turn it into a normal jump. So, like, it flows really well as a movement game.
I really like the movement in Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Is that the second one? The second Ori game, anyway.
The one where you can actually fight.
Yeah, the good one.
Yes, the good one.
Is this better in terms of movement and exploration, like platforming stuff, than Ori 2?
I think Ori 2 is good, but I think Silksong is a good like tier above it personally.
I think it's really difficult for me because I think Ori 2 probably does have better movement, but it's married to a game where the exploration isn't quite as good, and the combat really isn't as good, because although Ori 2 has good combat, there's very little to use it on.
Yeah.
Because they don't really put like interesting combat encounters into the game, and the bosses aren't interesting.
Yeah, like I can't remember a single fight from Ori 2, to be honest. I think the game's just like not like, I appreciate Silksong being hard because it like you actually need to learn the boss fights. Like I don't ever really remember needing to do that in Ori.
Ori 2 has some big problems because the movement becomes so dominant that it eats other parts of the gameplay. You get so much movement that they have to resort to like building platforming challenges around like use this one specific movement tech that you've got that just like is completely busted.
Yeah, Silksong's a lot more balanced in terms of like what they want you to do with combat and exploration and the rest of it. And it does that thing that Hollow Knight does, which is it keeps giving, like, the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. Like, oh, I can go this way. Oh fuck, there's a whole other area here. What the fuck? I didn't expect that. Like, it's really good at that.
It really feels open world in a way that like Metroidvanias typically don't. Like there's always like a path you're supposed to go, like, oh, I got this thing, it's time to go to like this place. And in Silksong, like at any given time, there was at least like 3 or 4 different areas that I had like unlocked but just hadn't gone to, because like you're constantly being pulled in a million directions. It really just feels like a big world. I mean, it is.
Yeah, after the first like hour or two, they really let you loose on it, and once they've done that, like, I get why they have to wait a little while before you can really like take all the limiters off. But it's nice. This is also the first game in the genre that I'm happy to call a Metroidvania. And that's mostly because I fucking hate the Vania aspect of this genre. But this has enough Vania influences in it that I'm happy with it. Like, it can stay this time. Fuck Symphony of the Night.
You know, they used to call them castle troids, didn't they? They were castle troids.
Search action.
Brain breaker comparable.
Fuck Symphony of the Night in particular.
I fuck that game. In a bad way.
I defend that game.
No.
It's pretty
shitty!
I want to squeeze in a couple of like honorable mentions for me. I spent much of the year playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I spent a very big chunk of the year playing the Factorio Space Age expansion, which is a game that apparently only I within this podcast will like or engage with. But the people who created Factorio have created an entirely new genre when they made that game, and now they have perfected it. Factorio Space Expansion is absolutely one of the best games ever made. It scratched an itch in my brain that I did not know existed, and the design of it is just impeccable in how much cool gameplay they've cooked up through like variants of Factorio, just in changing like tiny things about the core gameplay and just building all of this like elaborate gameplay around it. So in addition to like regular Factorio automation stuff, you go to all these different planets. You have to build self-sustaining space platforms that can power themselves and that can process chunks of asteroids into minerals that you can use to destroy more asteroids and, you know, keep your ship going and safe and not exploded, and, you know, process the materials into fuel and, you know, all of that stuff, and, you know, keep your nuclear reactor stocked up. You can travel to other planets that have things like, there's one planet where instead of mining materials, you farm them, and they're all organic and they spoil if they're left out for long enough. So you can't just like stockpile stuff anymore. You have to keep your factory continuously moving and cycling ingredients. Or there's one planet that's like completely freezing cold, and you have to like build heat pipes to keep everything warm all the time. It's just an incredible game. Gorgeous, fantastic soundtrack. It will eat hundreds of hours of your life without warning. Don't play it unless you're unemployed.
It's also multiplayer, right? You've been playing it with like Dodds and stuff.
Yeah, I've been playing it with like 4 friends, and it's just completely seamless, and that's amazing.
They like come take your resources, and then you realize that your factory's not working anymore.
They don't take your resources. You just delegate different jobs, and then fucking Rob Dyer messes it up all. He messes up everything, and he means that I've got to spend a fucking hour bootstrapping my nuclear reactor because he redirected all the raw materials the wrong place. I love you, Rob Dyer. I played Peak, which is good friend slop.
Yeah, I like
it.
Peak.
Is good friend slop. I think it's gotten better with the new updates. I think the first biomes they introduced were a bit weak, and now that they've introduced the desert and the mushroom forest,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
when they're not in the rotation, it's like, oh god, I have to go through the frozen zone, which sucks.
Yeah, the frozen zone does suck.
Or the forest that also sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think each new biome has gotten better.
No more new biomes. Make the old biomes funner.
Yeah, maybe a revamp of them.
That's probably a good idea, actually, yeah.
But Peak reminds me of Left 4 Dead, I think, in the way that it's like a game that it's solidly, completely designed to be like, you can't play this alone. You like have to stay together with your friends. You have to help them when they fall down. You have to help them up ledges, or you won't win.
Yeah, it's a big boon having a friend to drag you up when you don't have the stamina to get to places, and they do.
Yeah. And it just made me remember what I enjoyed about Left 4 Dead back in the day. And also, it was very cheap.
If I were that studio, I would have taken my bajillion pounds and retired. But it's nice to see that they are making updates. Some of the new items they've added are really fun. I found one the other day that just like turned me into a skeleton, so I didn't have to eat anymore, but I was cursed, so like my health bar was lower.
I think the Peak devs made like an unhinged quote about their pricing practice for the game Peak. We had this joke of like, how much is a game really in a player's mind? What does it mean to spend $5? Well, that's $5, but $6, well, that's still $5. $4 is also kind of $5, but $3 is $2, and $2 is basically free. So we've got these tiers, you know, $12, that's $10, but $13 is $15. And we found that $8 is still $5. It doesn't become $10. $7.99, that's $5, right? So $8 going to $5 is the biggest differential we could find in pricing, so we found it very optimal.
They're right.
They're so right. That's crazy.
That's good.
I on a similar vein, I did a survey the other day for a game that's coming out at some point, and they wanted like opinions on how I thought the marketing had gone so far, and like the last set of questions are all about price, and the one that they lead off on for cost is so how much do you personally think is a fair price for this, and what do you think would be a really good deal? And then I answered the question. They go, what if we priced it at €90? How would that make you feel? I'm like,
no.
Okay, that's like double what I said would be like reasonable for it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
This is the other thing about Expedition 33. The reason it did so well is because it wasn't fucking 80 quid to buy.
Yeah,
it was cheap, right? It was like 30 quid.
Yeah. It's slap in the middle.
It was a normal video game price.
It's slap in the middle.
It's a budget title. The game of the year, which had the best production values of a game I've played in years, was £30.
So yeah,
Hey, Nintendo, maybe more people would have played Bananza if you didn't charge £1 million for it.
And if it was fucking good.
Yeah, I'm a hater.
Wrong.
Bran will get there in a moment. I'm sure.
GTA 6 will be $100.
Oh, almost certainly.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna. I think that's been like heavily rumored for a while now.
It's the only game that will be able to justify that.
It can't justify it. I don't
Nothing
think it's
can justify it.
justifiable at all to be $100.
No, I mean approach justifying it, I think.
No.
I mean, people will actually shell out.
You mean justifying it that they could get away with
Yes.
it, not that it's actually worth $100.
I think that Rockstar will announce that it's £100 and loads of people buy it, and a load of the big publishers will be like, "Oh, we can make all of our games
we can do
£100
that.
now,"
Yeah.
and it will not work the same way.
Yeah. From the creators of I Divine Cybermancy, we have Daimon Blades, which is taking place in the same universe, only far in the past. You play as a type of warrior who uses weapons that are imbued with demons, for better and for worse. It is a co-op, what do I call it, roguelike? It's sort of like Diablo-esque roguelike, where you get gear, but if you fuck up, you lose it. But if you're successful, you keep it. And it's procedurally generated. There's a grapple hook. It's a lot of fun. I cannot recommend it right now. It is too far in early access. The multiplayer is fucked right now. Check it out by the end of the year, I think. Otherwise, it's really fun. It's sort of like Vermintide.
Fair enough.
Oh, cool. Could be good friend slop.
Yes.
Anything else?
Let's see. Did I play anything else? I played a bunch of old shit. I got into old school MapleStory, and boy, does that game not hold up at all. That was entirely riding on the atmosphere. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Bran did want to talk about the Gorilla game.
I mean, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. It was my second favorite game of the year. It's good. I mean, I really liked it. I know that the main discussion point is it better than Odyssey, and I don't think it is. I think the early game is fairly weak because the level design isn't that interesting. You just kind of end up punching your way through everything.
Now, I will say, I only played it way late at Moogle's house, so I didn't see the back half of the game. So
The back half of the game is what if we judge us on the front half of the game, think it's just okay. I mean, when you get to the later parts of the game, there's a lot more interesting terrain types that have very interesting gimmicks that they do a lot of cool things with. And stuff like the later Bananza forms are really cool, especially the fourth one. How far did you get, Catsman?
We got to the elephant.
The elephant is where I think the game really kind of started kicks into high gear.
There's a snake as well. You get like a snake.
The snake is like also pretty cool, although it's like kind of got spring controls and that you're very slow, which is annoying, but it's got like cool like time slowing gimmicks.
Where we got to in the game, it was just starting to get interesting. We'd finished Zebra World and Ostrich World, and we were just about to finish, I think, the Elephant World, and that's like
Elephant World is sick. When the game just like, yeah, here's a form that allows you to just like suck up all the terrain near you, and there's like no like very minimal limits on it. I was like, holy shit, this is cool as hell. It does destroy the frame rate though. That kind of sucks. The game does not run very well. But like the later like terrain gimmicks, like the different types of terrain that they do interesting things with. There's like the salt in the Feast World, which is really cool, and there's also the one in the resort layer that you basically like lets you like create platforms anywhere you want. You can like fly up on them. Just like so many. It's full of amazing ideas, and the finale is like one of like the most amazing segments I've seen in like a big budget Nintendo game in a while. I don't know if I want to go into spoilers, but it's just really cool.
Can we talk about one spoiler?
Sure.
Why is Pauline a child? Is it the same Pauline?
It's a prequel.
What?
What?
Look,
I don't want to get into a lore discussion, please.
you can't say that.
It takes place before Odyssey.
But
So you play as Cranky Kong.
This is exactly
This
what
is
I
the-
wanted to avoid.
Love
Look,
this.
the answer is the same as it is for Legend of Zelda, which is that Nintendo doesn't care.
That's not true. They published an official Zelda timeline.
Yeah, that's now wrong.
And they absolutely, definitely had it all planned out from the beginning.
I believe Zoot.
The reason is that they just wanted to put a small character on DK's back. I don't think it's that deep.
Oh, okay. And they didn't have like another couple of small characters just
It's
hanging
because
around.
people hate Diddy Kong.
Well,
and they know it now.
No, you can't call him that anymore. They've changed his name to Diddley Kong. They didn't put him on Donkey Kong's.
Why is this bit still going on? It's been a year. It wasn't funny a year ago.
We should have wipe the slate clean and make new bits for 2026.
I love a good bit, but it's got to be a good bit. And this ain't it.
This is an excellent bit. You'll start to like it eventually.
Shit bit.
Yeah,
Shit
two
bit.
more years of this and you'll be a fan.
Well, all right, Mitch, tell us what you like, game.
My like game. I played through Lost Judgment through 2024 and then took a break and then finished it in 2025.
Isn't that pronounced Yakuza?
No. This is a spin-off of the game. I feel that the Yakuza games have been dipping in quality for a long time in not only the actual quality of the game, but also the choices that Sega are making with the franchise. This is the last game that Nagoshi, who started the franchise, worked on. He was the writer and like executive director. And it shows because this is like the best one released in like 5 years or whatever. You play as a detective ex-lawyer, and it's more grounded than Yakuza plots because you're just dealing with like a single murder, whereas Yakuza Kiryu would be like trying to save all of Tokyo or whatever. So it's just nice and grounded. The characters are really well written and likable, and there's just so much to do in the game. There's so many minigames and side stories, and they've added a school, which could just be the game, a whole different game in itself as you go and solve all the kids' problems, and each club has its own minigames. It's just really fun. If you don't want to play Yakuza, play the Judgment series, because there's only 2 of them, and there will only ever be 2 of them, because Nagoshi's no longer with Sega, and this was his baby, and I'm excited for his new game that he's making called Gangs of Dragon. Absolute madman, saying, look, Yakuza games do suck without me, I know, so here's a new Yakuza game set in actual Kabukicho. So that was that.
Wait, hold on. Am I legally allowed to play Lost Judgment if I haven't played Yakuza?
There's no references to Yakuza at all. It just takes place in the same Japan, if that makes sense. They're playing Lost Judgment at tournaments for Virtua Fighter and Sonic the Fighters because it has the best ports of those games in them. So if you want a good version of Virtua Fighter 5, the latest edition, you can just play Lost Judgment. The other game is Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't like Monster Hunter anymore. It's not for me anymore. Despite all the performance issues that people cropped up with, I didn't notice many, so it didn't bother me. What bothered me was that they're saying that Monster Hunter is now like a big multiplayer thing, but like it is constantly hitting you with, you can't play this quest with friends, you can't play this quest with friends, and it's no longer Monster Hunter to me, it's just Monster Fighter.
Yeah.
I liked the slower approach of the PSP games where you built up to a big hunt, where now it's like every 15 minutes you're like, hunt this, hunt that, hunt this, hunt that, and it's just not fun anymore. I found the art style really weird. It was like really washed out and not appealing to me.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a fuckle, this game. Like, I don't want to say that I dislike Monster Hunter and that I dislike the game as a whole, because I put a lot of hours into it, and I still enjoy the basic back and forth of fighting a monster. But I do agree with Mitch, it's very little about hunting anymore. You don't really do much of that. There's so many walk and talk segments interrupting the game, none of which you can skip, but you can skip the intro cutscenes to the monster, but you want to see those because it's the monster doing cool shit. It is an absolutely bizarre set of fucking design decisions that they've made, and yeah, it's incredibly washed out. The reason behind that is that there is a seasonal system in the game where every region effectively has a kind of like an ecological disaster moment. So in the desert, as an example, it's a sandstorm, so there's an ecological disaster. There's the fallow season, which is like you're like just nothing really is happening. It's the prelude to that disaster. And after the disaster happens and it clears, you get a really, really bright, vivid, season of plenty, if you like. And the season of plenty is the only part of the game that looks good, because everything is bright, it pops, it's vibrant, but everything else in the game, like in the jungle area, it's heavily raining constantly and the sky's overcast. And then when you get to the season of plenty, the sun's out and it's bright verdant green and like the flowers are all blooming and there's butterflies everywhere. Like it is a really bizarre decision to make your game look bad for 2/3 of it, and you spend most of the game in those fallow and like disaster seasons because that's what the game wants you to see when you get to a new area. Utterly bizarre decision to make the game look bad on purpose. I don't get it. I mean, I get the decision to make it look good after you've done those kind of important fights and, oh, look, this is what the effect you're having on the ecology of the area. But, like, does the game have to look bad as a result? Like, and it runs awful, and the conclusion that I took from Mitch not having any performance issues is that Mitch has spent £500 on DLC.
No. That was the joke. I don't even think that's true necessarily. The joke is that the game is constantly checking to see if you have DLC, and so if you have the DLC, it doesn't need to check for it, so the game runs better. I don't think that's entirely the case.
It is actually the case. It gives you about 15 frames. It gives you about 15 frames per second, like 10 to 20%
in certain
areas. It might also be other areas as well, because people are starting to install the mod that disables the checks, and they're reporting back, yeah, the game just runs better generally. But one of the main complaints was, even when things aren't going on in those hub areas, like your settlement areas where you're doing like your menuing, your building, whatever else, the game runs appallingly. And it looks like it's because of this one set of DLC checks. It's checking like hundreds of times per second to see if you've bought DLC. It's absolutely insane. It must be doing it on a per frame basis. Like it's really bizarre. So yeah, it's a really odd set of design decisions. And as Mitch says, like the game wants you to play it multiplayer because in Japan, Monster Hunter has always been a multiplayer experience. That was kind of the point. I say always, like since the PSP games, so it may as well be.
No, PS2 was one of the first games that used the PlayStation 2 online, didn't it?
It was online as well. Although, like, I would argue that there's still not that much of a focus on it in comparison to once you get to like Generation 2 and your PSP games, where they really want you to play in lobbies and like multiplayer and stuff.
Yeah.
This game wants you to play multiplayer, but then adds so many barriers to doing so. Like joining a party is nowhere near as simple as and intuitive as it should be. You've got to jump through like 4 or 5 different hoops and make sure 2 or 3 different settings are in the exact right place and that you're in the right place in the game. And then even once you've done that, if someone in one of the parties that you're in hasn't done a particular mission yet, it will go, oh, that person's not done that, so they're going to be blocked from this mission. It's a really bizarre set of decisions.
We had this problem just playing the demo, because I played the demo with you guys, and we couldn't hunt one of the monsters because it said I hadn't hunted one of the other monsters that we'd already hunted because I hadn't done the start of the quest because I joined as you guys were in it. Fuck off, Capcom. You've done this for every Monster Hunter game since, like, World. I think it did it for Rise as well. Don't make me start a quest, then exit the quest, then start it again just so I can play with my friends. People don't, like, if it's a multiplayer game, don't have the single player interfere with the multiplayer bullshit. It's fucked. I just had too much of Monster Hunter, so I decided not to play this one. But like, it just doesn't feel like they're innovating anymore either. Like, there's no new weapons. The weapons that they've already got, they've not added that much to. Like, it's nice to have new monsters and stuff, but people are always going to be like, oh, where's my old monsters that were in the last game anyway? So like,
where's Scrimblow Blimblow?
Yeah, where's Goble?
I think they've done a good job iterating on the monsters, because in World it was really dire. It was like,
yeah, that was the worst. There
was like, here's a 4-legged beast, here's a dinosaur, here's a dragon. That's it, right? And then
yeah, that's what you get.
And now in Wilds, you're like, oh, here's an octopus, here's a bunch of bugs. They're getting better.
The monster choice is a lot better. The monster variety is a lot better. The changes they've made to weapons are all really good and make a great deal of sense. The weak point system that they've brought in, where you create a weak point by constantly attacking part of the monster, then you can attack that for more damage, and then you have to balance, well, do I keep attacking it, or do I do a finisher that does even more damage? So I have to balance hitting that as like the last thing that I do on that weak point. That's all really good as well. The problem is, and I've said it before and I'll keep saying it, Monster Hunter's only good when you get to the very last phase of the game, which doesn't release for 18 months after the game releases, because that's the way that they do these games now. It's way too easy. It's ridiculously easy, no matter what you're doing, until you hit like the post game of what they've got at the moment. And like that's 20 to 30 hours at the very least, at which point, why is your game not interesting for 20 to 30 hours? Please stop doing this. Make it more interesting. Unless you are purposefully gimping yourself by not using whole mechanics of the game, I struggled to have fun for like 10-15 hours because there was just nothing interesting to do in it. Like, the monsters die within 5 minutes. Like, that's not what I came to this series for. Like, I want monsters to last more than 5 minutes, please. And it's funny because I've been playing Monster Hunter Portable 3rd recently on my little soldier station because it's a PSP game. Monster Hunter Portable 3rd is not a difficult game. It's still a fairly easy game because it's got no G rank in it. It was done in between Monster Hunter 3 and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate just to give PSP owners, to throw them a bone because they didn't have a game. And it's still way more challenging and difficult than anything that I did all the way up to the post game of Wilds. Bizarre decisions like are rife with this game. And I don't understand what they're doing with it anymore, which is sad because they're still making really good action. Like, the action's still really good, the combat's still really good. The monsters designs in this game are impeccable. Like, you have an octopus now, like a fucking octopus in Monster Hunter. That's great.
Actually, there was an octopus in Monster Hunter Generations.
Yamasukami doesn't count.
No, it was called like Nautilus or something.
Oh, I know the one you mean. Yeah, I mean,
he's
the big Elder Dragon thing at the end of Generations, isn't he? Yeah, he's a cuttlefish. He's a cuttlefish.
Yeah, he's a cuttlefish.
So like, he's a cephalopod at the end of the day. Yeah, they've added quite a few new skeletons. They've brought back a lot of returning monsters, which are really like beloved ones, among other things. Like, I can't fault the monster choice. I can't fault the combat stuff. But the way the game looks, the way it performs, and the weird design decisions just make me go, well, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you just treading water here? Maybe you are, because they're treating it like it's still the big thing that it is, and I don't see that it is anymore. I don't know how they continue with that.
Is it not still one of the highest rating selling Capcom games?
Oh, probable, and maybe that's it. Maybe that it just keeps going that way. I'm way more interested in stuff they're releasing this year, like Pragmata, to care about that though. Like, that's the thing that looks more interesting from my perspective.
Yeah, I probably won't buy any more Monster Hunter games. I think this is my end point. It was just so bad.
I'll keep trying. I'll keep pecking away. I'll certainly be getting the G rank stuff when it comes out, but I said, like, when Monster Hunter World came out, I won't be getting the next one, and I didn't get Rise until they released the G rank expansion, and I think that was the right decision because, like, I paced it myself however I wanted to pace that game. I could skip everything. I would probably do the same again, where I just pick up the game at the phase where it's actually interesting to play.
What was your other game, Moogle?
It's a good French game. It's Trackmania. Everybody should play Trackmania. You will like Trackmania. Do you like incremental progress? Do you like shaving off milliseconds and going, yeah, I shaved off a millisecond of my time. Here's a dopamine hit. Have some really responsive controls and completely deterministic gameplay where it's just, can you press the buttons in the right sequence at the right time, based on like when you started, where you're aiming, and everything else. It's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
Everybody should play Trackmania in some way, whether you play one of the older ones, so you can play Trackmania Nations and it's completely free and you've got all of the custom maps that you can play in it as well, or whether you decide that you want to play the more recent game in the series, which unfortunately is a subscription based thing, but it is cut price, and they do keep supporting it with new stuff. Like, they release like a game's worth of content every year for it, which, you know, I get that, and that's probably okay. And they've added a lot of stuff to it. You could do that as well, but play Trackmania in some way, shape, or form. It's the second best game to come out of France.
I've got one more. In August, I played. This is not a game that came out last year. It's a very old game, but I played Boku no Natsuyasumi 2 for the PS2.
Hell yeah!
Because the English fan translation, I believe, came out last year, and I played it as God intended every day in August.
Oh, that's very nice.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
And it was It was just so nice. It reminded me a lot of, because the game takes place in like the islands of Japan, and it reminded me a lot of like.
Much like your childhood when you went to the islands of Japan as a child.
Well, it reminded me of my child going to Malta. So yeah, going to islands and catching bugs and swimming around and hanging out with people. It was just a really good time.
Molto bene.
I really want to play more of this series. I think I'll try to make that a tradition to play one of them in August. It's like a, I don't know, 15 to 20 minute commitment every day, except for maybe like the first and last days are a little bit extra long. But it was just very pleasant. The writing is good, and it just kind of like scratches that. I kept a notebook for this one because people would mention like, oh, this is going to happen on this day. So I'd write down to make sure I did a thing on a certain day to go like, say goodbye to a character who was leaving, or like go like meet somebody and do like a specific activity. Yeah, it just really kind of scratched an itch and was very like nostalgic for me. It was like a really good experience. I enjoyed it.
This looks lovely. I'm looking at it now. It looks very charming.
It's very charming. Yeah.
Bleach Rebirth of Souls is... I love Bleach. It's so
Nobody
fucking...
likes Bleach.
Bleach is
in
so good.
Japan, they've
Everyone
never even
loves
heard
Bleach.
of Bleach.
You know, that's when people say, like, no one in Japan knows Sonic. You're lying. Bleach is fucking
I was
awesome.
in Japan. I
It's
did not see
it's such
one
a
Bleach.
vibe. Shut up. I'm talking about Bleach. It's fun going through the entire story of Bleach again in a fighting game. All the voice actors reprise their roles except for the ones that don't.
Okay.
Combat is pretty easy, and you're switching between characters, but they vary their gameplay styles enough when you're fighting through them. It's got a generous roster of characters of all the well-liked Bleaches. My only issue with the game is, well, you can mod in the soundtrack of the anime, so that's fine, but a lot of the songs are kind of dull. But my problem with the game is it's like a side-on fighter, as you would assume, even though sometimes you're behind the character. But to move closer to your enemy, you press up, and I could never wrap my brain around that, so I'd always go to the side when I meant to go towards my enemy. It's a bit frustrating. Friend Slop Repo I bought just at the end of the year on the last sale of the year. I hate Lethal Company. I think it's dog shit. I think
We love playing Lethal Company together. What are you talking about?
Every
What?
time Specs drags me to Lethal Company, I'm like, oh my god, this game is awful.
Lethal Company
No,
is very similar
it's not.
in concept to stuff like Left 4 Dead and Peak.
No, it sucks. It's terrible. It's terrible, Friend Slop. I hate the art style. I think it looks ugly. It hurts my eyes to look at. I find the gameplay loop of going in and out of a building, but you can only carry like 3 things and really only carry one big thing is really laborious. And I think that the areas that you explore are like you're only exploring like a warehouse or like an abandoned train station or something in the first level or whatever, and then the more interesting places are later in the game when you've reached like level 5 or whatever, and we never reach that because Specs always messes up and we never reach that.
I have played the game with my friends and we have gotten quite far in it, and there's not enough stuff in the game.
Yeah, I think they've changed some of the earlier areas so they're more interesting. Like they've got the mine shaft in some of the levels now.
I don't care about Lethal Company!
Well, you shouldn't have opened this discussion by dunking on a game everyone likes. What's better about Repo, then?
It looks nicer, for one thing. The robots are so cute and have so much personality with them. Their mouths flap open like Muppets when you talk, and they have different expressions and are very nice and fun to play with. The enemies that you're fighting have lots of different gimmicks, and they're constantly adding new enemies. There's only like 5 or so areas that you can explore, but they open up and get progressively bigger as you go on. And the loop of grabbing 3 or 4 items, then going back to the start isn't the thing. You have like a little shopping cart. You grab items, manipulate them, and then put them in the cart. And if you're not careful with the items, if you bump them into things, then they'll depreciate in value or they'll just smash outright. It's just a better implementation of Lethal Company's system. I prefer it a lot more, and much like Peak, it's $5 even though it's $8. I think Repo's a much better game than Lethal Company in every regard, and I don't know why you would go back to playing Lethal Company if you could play Repo.
I already own Lethal Company.
Whatever. Silent Hill F. I think Konami are evil and I hate them, but my boy fucking Rishikyo07 wrote this, maker of When They Cry, which is one of the best visual novels.
This guy is like quite a famous horror author, right?
Yeah.
They like drafted him in to be like, we need you to like bring this series back from the fucking depths of being shit.
I don't think they did that. They were just like, what do we got? Because Silent Hill, the year this released, it was like the year of Silent Hill where they just threw all the spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. And there were like half bad Silent Hill games and one that everyone liked, but they're stupid for it. And then the one good one, which was this one. It's, of course, Silent Hill, everyone's like, oh, this psychological and really makes you think. Like, no, this game very, very bluntly, like an iron pipe over a bad guy's head, is very blunt with what the themes of this game is, of how young women in Japan in the 1960s were treated badly. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the big molester monsters. I can't tell.
In the 60s.
Yeah, it's in 1960.
Well, why didn't they set it in modern day? Because it's still true.
Modern day Japan. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of 1960s Japan rural life. So I'm sure a lot of the references are lost on me as a man living in Britain in 2025. But it's still obvious enough of what its themes are meant to be. With R07's writing style, he's very big on loops, so playing New Game Plus, you'll like the story is different immediately. Not just because you have context to what's going on, but cutscenes are different, the dialogue characters use are different, so it's very much a game where you will be wanting to play multiple times. My only slight against the game is A, there's no guns, and B, the combat is terrible. I hate Dark Souls. I wish Dark Souls and Demon Souls never existed, because all combat in third-person action games that aren't character action now have devolved down to durability weapons with a stamina system where you have a light and heavy attack, and it's fucking shit. I played on the Give Me Silent Hill difficulty level for combat. Don't do that. Don't do that. Play this game on the easiest combat difficulty, because it got to the point where I almost soft-locked myself with how bad the combat is. They just throw really hard enemies at you, and your weapons are losing durability by the second. It sucks. Puzzles are great, and they have different difficulty levels for the puzzles, and they really get your brain thinking. They get your brain juice going. My favorite area is the school. The school's a very freaky and scary area. It's not really scary. It's more unsettling as you see the character leave home from an abusive family, and then life just keeps getting shitter and shitter for her, and you know that she cannot escape this, so you're just waiting for the inevitable oblivion that she's about to encounter. Last thing I want to mention is that the voice actors and face mocaps for the game have been playing it on YouTube, and they're a fun watch. Honestly, check them out.
Can I just say, I think the idea of not revealing the full story in a game until you have played it through once and then have to play it through again on New Game Plus to get like the deeper meaning behind the story, fuck that shit.
That's not what happens at all. That's not what you know what happens by the end of the game. It's just if you want to go back and maybe get a different ending and try and get a new ending, you can do that. Because by the end of the game, I wanted to see if I could save this poor young girl from the fate that she was ascribed to. Speaking of poor young women with fates they're ascribed to, Stellar Blade came out last year. Again, I hate Dark Souls, and I'm glad this is more like a Sekiro, which I prefer the combat system to. It's very much dodging and countering. The issues with Stellar Blade is that the story's not that good, considering this is made by the same company that makes Nikke, which has one of the best stories in video games. I'm not even joking. So it was a little disappointing that it wasn't really that good. The characters are okay. I like Eve a lot. I like the incentive that the game does for me to complete side quests, in that the reward isn't like experience or gold or like new weapons or anything. It's a new costume. Like every side quest is a new costume. There's so many costumes in this game. It's ridiculous, bordering from, your sexy swimsuits. But there's some really nicely designed stuff like that. I don't know what they wanted this game to be, because there's like 6 areas and levels, and like 3 of them are like corridors, like a standard linear level that you have to travel through. And the other 3, they're like big open world areas. There's like a desert, there's like a flooded city, and then there's another desert. And I don't know why they did that. Why didn't they just focus on either a linear story that you're going down, or like a big open world with lots of interconnected areas? I don't know why they bothered making 3 separate areas and 2 of them are deserts. Especially if you want to do other side quests, they make you go through the linear levels again, and I don't know why. Bosses are sick. I really like the bosses. And the music is great in Shift Up's games. And it's weird with the enemy design is that Eve is obviously a very attractive character, and all the characters look like regular people, but the contrast of Eve in her skin-tight suit and these horrifying creatures that you're fighting, it's a bit of a juxtaposition there. Yeah, it's got an interesting story of, even though I don't think it's particularly good, of what is a human. It's very Yoko Taro stuff. But the weird thing is the final boss comes to you and you're like, join me and the world will be perfect. And if you refuse the final boss, you get a really good final boss. But if you join them, you get a bad final boss, and the bad final boss is the good ending. So I don't know why they bothered doing that.
But is it the true ending?
It is the true ending if you join them and you get the bad final boss that is a shitty robot that you fight. Nikke had an event with Stellar Blade, and the event in Nikke had a better story. And if I showed you the picture that made me burst into tears, you think I was either crazy or I was lying. I guess that leads me into Nikke. I like playing Nikke. I play it every day. Last year had, from the 2.5 anniversary in April to the end of the year, it has been great. And Bald Man from Shift Up, please, can we get some happy stories? Because since the 3rd anniversary, every month has been trauma and gut punches, and I've ran out of tissues. Bald Man, I can't cry no more. Please give me a happy story.
Yeah, that's what the tissues are for when you're playing Nikke.
It is, no cap. Play Nikke. It's really good, and I need people to talk to about Nikke, because I'm not going to.
I can't subsume myself to any live service. It's the same reason I can't play the new Trackmania, even though I really want to. I just can't do it.
I haven't spent money on it since the last time we talked about it, so I'm not a whale.
I haven't taken heroin since the last time we talked about it.
I guess that leaves us to the last thing we can talk about that we played last year. Beyblade! I managed to convince everyone that Beyblade was cool, and I forced them to play it when they came October 2024. And since then, we've gone to national tournaments around the country. Mostly they're there to humor and support me while I try my sweatiest to try and get #1 in the country, which I am going to do with my GIMP dinosaur deck.
He swears. We've got one more tournament that he can compete in, potentially, to be allowed to take place in the actual finals competition.
Yeah.
What I really wanted to talk about with Beyblade is the strange coincidences that keep happening around it. So
That's been odd.
We were in Birmingham for a tournament at the NEC Convention Centre, and I started playing with this guy, and I was like, do I know you? Did we used to work together? And he was like, yeah, we went to med school together. So he lives in London now, but I went to med school with this guy who was just in Birmingham playing Beyblade. I was like, why are you here if you live in London? He was like, Beyblade, dude. Beyblade's rad.
Hell yeah.
And then Catsman, we bumped into a blast from your past at the most recent tournament we were at.
Yeah, we saw Spice Freak, who is unfortunately no longer reviewing spices on the internet, but he also just apparently got really into Beyblade over the last couple of years.
So viewers, listeners of the podcast may remember that Catsman told a story once about how he dipped his finger in a chili sauce, ignored the wise words of wisdom from his spice friend
to wash my hands very, very thoroughly.
And went home and cried and never spoke to that man again.
It's true. I just did. It's not that I didn't like him. It's there are too many traumatic memories associated with that spice.
And now he has broken the seal because they bumped into each other in bracket, I think, at the Beyblade tournament, and he was still wearing a lab coat with specially added pockets to hide his Beyblades in, right?
Yeah. So when he was a traveling chili salesman, he used to go everywhere in a white lab coat with extra zippers that he'd put into it to put spices in, and I guess now it's the same lab coat, but with Beyblades instead. But he also has the goggles, I think, as well, which are also useful because those things.
Yeah, he had goggles.
All my teachers at school used to say, "You'll have someone's eye out with that," and I never believed them until now. They were right. Someone at some point will have someone's eye out in one of these tournaments.
Yeah.
Fucking like quite heavy metal spinning tops just going everywhere.
He had also heard of Animitch because we said, "Oh, we're here with Mitch," and he was like, "Oh, the egg guy."
Yeah, I hate
right,
I'm the egg guy now. I hate how I'm the egg guy.
He only recognized you from an egg video that has a few hundred views on YouTube.
Some of the most fun moments of Beyblade tournaments have been us, like me, Moogle, and Cats being really shit, not knowing how Beyblade works, and beating people who are quite clearly there to try and win. Like Catsman, every time Catsman has gone up against Baymac, who is a Beyblade YouTuber, we see him a lot at these tournaments, and he usually brings his girlfriend. Catsman has beaten his girlfriend every time without knowing, like without like looking like he knows.
I didn't even know I won.
We met one guy who Catsman was playing against and explained. Do you want to do the Bay of Pigs bit?
I had 3 bays named the Bay of Pigs, Guantanamo Bay, and the Iran-Contra affair. Apparently people don't name their bays normally, which is stupid.
You need to name your bays. It is important to evoke your bay before you release it. It is important.
Yeah, I always play better when I do that.
Basically, I told that to everyone at the tournament, and they all just looked at me stony-faced, and he found it really funny, and it turns out it's because he like studied international affairs at university.
Yeah, and we bumped into him again in Nottingham. We made a friend, her name's Ruby, and she really likes Bamzuki, so we've like played Bamzuki with her.
We need to get another Bamzuki tournament on.
I like the confidence of some of the children. One of the kids who was like 9 years old, I played him as my first guy in the last tournament we played. He said, "I'm sorry for your loss" before playing me. And then after beating me, I was like, "Oh, good luck in the rest of the tournament." And he said, "Oh, I'm going now." He didn't even stay. He just knocked me out and then left.
Hold it.
I later played another similarly aged child I had lost all of my matches. He had lost all of his. I said to him, "Let's see who the biggest loser is then." Hoping I would lose to him, but I won, and then I felt really bad.
Look, you either bully children or you are bullied at Beyblade tournaments. You don't know. Some of them are worthless, and some of them have like been playing this game since they were still in the womb.
The funniest one at the most recent tournament was the like 5-year-old who was absolutely like popping off. I was afraid he was about to start punching holes in the wall. And the woman he was up against getting more and more nervous as she was about to lose to this 5-year-old. She was so sweaty.
He was like the youngest there, and he
was like screaming during his matches. It was crazy. He almost demolished this woman that we saw playing him. It was really funny.
He stopped mid-match to have a hype moment with you, Specs, while his blade was still spinning.
Yeah, he like stopped watching. I was like, "Are you not going to watch your match?" And he was like, "I don't need to."
And then he won that match, and he was like, "I guess he didn't."
It's really funny.
It's also funny that Specs and Cats has like faced off in official tournament play twice now.
Yeah.
And I think you're 1-1.
Yeah, we wasted so much time in the match that we were in. The ref told us, "Please, I have a wife. I need to go home."
And Catsman said, "I'm sorry," and I said, "You're welcome."
We haven't really talked about what makes Beyblade fun compared to previous generations. It's a very simple system where you have 4-ish parts, where you just have your main blade, you have a ratchet that can affect balance and height, and then you have your bit which affects your bay's movement and burst resistance. The core gimmick of this generation is the accelerator rail, whereby the stadium and your bit have little teeth that interconnect, and once they hit each other, your bay launches around the outside of the arena and then launches into the center. It's a lot more fast-paced than previous gens, which were more focused on stamina and spinning the longest. There's a lot more incentive to smash your opponent to either burst them or launch them into the pockets, because you get more points that way. That hasn't stopped like the meta being mainly focused around Wizard Rod, which is the heaviest, roundest bay that just spins forever.
I mean, yeah, that is my one complaint about it, is that there is just a bay that everyone has in their deck, apart from me, because I'm not a tryhard.
Yeah.
And you can tell from my score.
Yeah, we go in with the Beyblades we like and we fucking lose.
I build Beyblades specifically because I think they look nice.
Speak for yourselves, losers. I've got a bay that doesn't die. Not to Wizard Rod.
Moogle was 11th in the standings at one point.
Yeah, he kept winning with is it the spinning gorilla or the eating gorilla?
It's the eating gorilla. He spins in peace.
It's the eating gorilla. He spins in peace, which is like, people were up in arms because he kept winning matches with that fucking bay that is like bottom tier.
Yeah, you were in the practice room with Ruby and she was showing off all these cool, really meta bays, and you were just winning every time. She was getting more and more flustered.
She was
Yeah, it's
getting
really
more
funny
grumpy,
watching
wasn't she?
Ruby get
It
more and
shouldn't
more
win.
sweaty.
It shouldn't win.
It hasn't lost to Wizard Rod yet, and it never will.
Retire that bay.
I also have this problem where the first time I ever launch off a new launcher, I absolutely eviscerate
That's
it.
true. They broke a couple of my launchers when we were doing casuals. They need to bring their own launchers now.
I bought a new launcher specifically for this tournament and broke it on the first rip because I ripped too hard.
You rip like at an angle. You don't rip straight.
Yeah, have you considered ripping less hard?
No, you gotta let it rip.
You grip it, you rip it.
I've taken to using the smaller launchers because it contains my power.
I think you'd be okay with a string launcher. But the tournament scene is very, very friendly. It's a diverse cast of people, and they genuinely want to help you get better if they think that you're underperforming and think that you could do better. Like when Specs was using his AliExpress launcher that wasn't doing too good, a keen-eared blader was able to go, I think your teeth on your ripcord are fucked. And sure enough, when we inspected it, yes, those teeth were fucked on that ripcord.
You could hear it from across the room. Yeah, people will just like lend you stuff if you don't have stuff to play. Yeah, like it's trans inclusive, it's LGBT inclusive. Like you've got people from all over the UK, people like people not from the UK. There was a big family of people who I don't know where they were from, somewhere in South Asia, who were there, and like loads of them were playing Beyblade, and they didn't really speak much English, but like it was lovely to sort of see them there. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun and it's friendly.
It's a completely pointless game, but it's a lot of fun, and yeah, everyone's really nice. So it's just a good vibe.
Yeah, it's better than darts.
It's better than darts.
It's more of a sport than darts.
That's damning with faint praise. I'm not really sure how much of a sport it is, but it doesn't matter.
There's definitely more skill to it than you would think.
I'd say there's 20% luck involved, but depending on how you build your bay, where you're launching your bay, and what your opponent's doing comparative to you, I think can change matchups pretty well.
I do think it's probably developing Warhammeritis, wherein they're just going to release more and more. They're just going to release heavier and heavier bays to keep you buying, which I will refuse to do.
I think the power creep's been pretty good because Wizard Rod was released like 2 years ago and it's still the heaviest and most powerful bay. I think they are trying to figure out how the fuck can we make something that beats it but isn't totally overpowered. There's going to be, supposedly there's a new system being released in this year, so we'll see what that is, because the latest CX was kind of a wash.
I can contribute to research efforts in this if they ask nicely, you know.
Would you there are bays that are like, primo meta bays that are like £500 because they're like prize bays that you need to get in an online gacha on a mobile app.
Mitch will eventually have a cool sizzle reel to upload.
No, it's a whole anime arc, but I need to know how it ends before I can finish it.
His anime training arc.
It ends with you losing your soul to a Mormon under a bridge.
It does. It does.
I needed to ask, are we going to fight the Mormons under the bridge at Beyblade?
I'm in Malaysia. When is it?
It's February 7th.
Ah, fuck, I'm in Malaysia.
They have them quite regularly.
Alright, we'll go to the one when you're not in Malaysia.
Is it like you Beyblade on Saturday and if you lose, you have to go to church on Sunday? I'm down for going to Mormon church.
I'm not down for going to Mormon church. I think they might have changed it. I think it might have actually not been okay within Mormonism to force people to be Mormon, but I'm not sure.
Well, you have to elect to take the bet, so you're not really being forced.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
God decides who wins the Beyblade tournament.
Yeah.
Only 20% of the time.
We did have a bit where I read from the Bible before one of Mitch's matches once, because, as we all know, Moses used the Beyblade to part the Red Sea.
Yeah.
We read that passage, but we replaced words with bay equivalents.
Yeah, Beyblade's cool. You should play it. It's not that expensive a hobby to get into.
Yeah, in terms of hobbies, you can have a lot of fun just by spending like £20 to £30 on some like starter bays.
And if you don't want to go to tournaments, just buy your Beyblades on AliExpress. They cost like £2 a Beyblade.
I might have to go against the AliExpress recommendation.
Honestly, the most expensive thing is the arena. So
Yeah. But when you buy one, apart from like the double extreme one that has the raising platform, you get 2 bays with them.
Yeah, but the arenas are quite expensive and they are made out of absolutely nothing. It is like the world's cheapest, like the bays themselves are like really nice, like metal things. And then the arenas are the thinnest piece of like a plastic bag that's been compressed into the shape of a bay arena that will like break after a few hundred matches.
Yeah, the reason why ours literally exploded, was because that was a third party one. The other ones have been fine in terms of keeping it in. We did find that like wasn't there like specks of blood in one of the arenas?
Yes.
When we went to
Oh, yeah, there was, yeah.
Beyblade is hardcore.
A guy let me relaunch because I screamed fuck at the top of my voice one time after launching a bay because I'd accidentally like ground my finger with the like thread bit. It was actually quite painful. He shouldn't have really let me relaunch. All I did was injure myself.
Sometimes I paw on it so hard, I rip the skin.
Let it rip.
Let it rip the skin.
Mitch's grandfather's Forbidden Bay has also tried to take a chunk out of me once or twice. So
Yeah, it doesn't like you.
it's because it knows that I've got Yell Kong, and Yell Kong's going to be the one to dethrone him.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life. You gotta fall down and need crowd to get back up again. Let's Beyblade.
Shadow the Hedgehog is a Christ allegory.
Oh my god.
I am going to lay out my reasons why I think he's a Christ allegory, okay? Number 1, unnatural birth, surrogate parents. One of them is named Maria, which is quite close to Mary.
Santa Maria, yes.
Shadow is canonically kind of scapegoated for the evils of the world, which he's not responsible for. When he's put into stasis, he T-poses, just like Jesus did when he spread out his arms and died. In fact, in Sonic the Hedgehog 6, he is basically crucified in that game. He sacrificed himself for the sins of others. Like Jesus, he comes back from the dead a couple of games later, as Jesus did. I'm pretty sure that happens again in Sonic 06. He performs miracles.
He's also the most powerful creature.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate life form.
No, he's not.
And he's the coolest. So
The coolest.
The coolest.
I'm the coolest.
He has ultimate speed. That's a miracle. He has healing powers as well.
He can stop time. That's a miracle.
Yeah, so overall, I'm thinking he's a Christ allegory. Mostly, to be honest, mostly because he is crucified for the sins of others and comes back to life. I think that's the main thing that makes
The
him...
world hated him because he spoke the truth.
Yeah.
No.
shut up.
No.
Why is he not a Christ allegory, Mitch?
I think Sonic is a closer Christ allegory if there was ever gonna be one, because he actually dies and comes back, whereas Shadow dies and he doesn't come back. That is a robot clone. in Heroes.
That's wrong. That's a lie.
It is
No,
not a lie.
No.
It is not a
No,
lie.
in Shadow the Hedgehog, it is revealed if you hang around long enough in the final boss fight that is the real Shadow the Hedgehog, and Eggman was lying to him about
Are
being
we
a robot.
talking about, is that the good ending or is that the true
That's
ending?
the true
Because-
ending.
No, I don't think it's the true ending, because true endings are different. But anyway, Shadow is more like a Lucifer in that he was in heaven, aka Space Colony Ark, and he was cast out of heaven, and he sought revenge.
No, that's fanfic. That's not in the Bible. That's not real. That's
I don't
fanfic.
care.
That's Paradise
I don't
Lost.
care.
That's not real.
Yeah, that's Dante's Inferno.
It's all
so-
fanfic. It's all fanfic.
Also, there is a character in Shadow the Hedgehog who is actually Sonic the Hedgehog Lucifer. I can't remember what his name is.
Black Doom.
No, not Black Doom. The one who's like a clone of Shadow.
Oh, do you mean Mephiles in Sonic 06?
Yes.
No, Mephiles.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's Mephiles the
in Sonic
Dark.
06.
Yeah.
He is actually Lucifer in Sonic lore.
Well, actually, he is part of Satan. So he and Iblis, which is like the body of Satan, combined make a character that is like Satan. And yes, they are like Lucifer.
By the way, within the sort of like theological framework of this, I think Silver the Hedgehog might be the second coming, although don't quote me on that.
No.
Actually, he's more like John Connor from the Terminator series because he comes back in time to kill Sonic so Sonic can't start Skynet. Coming back to Shadow also, if we think about the Bible, right? So the Bible, the Old Testament is the law of Moses. And if we think about the Sonic series, up until Sonic Adventure 1, that's the law of Sonic, okay? And then Shadow comes to this earth. He was the prophesied hero who comes into Sonic Adventure 2 to take over and build the new canon. Sonic stops being the most important character in the Sonic games for about 3 or 4 games at this point, as Shadow, aka Jesus Christ, becomes the most important character in the Sonic series.
Knuckles is Apostle Paul.
If you're wondering what the canonical answer to this is, we asked Rusty's dad, who is a high-ranking Christian, and Rusty's dad listened to us intently while we talked about Shadow the Hedgehog, and then he said, "That's very interesting," and left.
I talked to him a little bit about the proto-gospel of James as well, and then Rusty said that Maria wasn't a common German name, and Rusty's mum said, "Yes, it is, and I'm German, and you should know better, son." Yeah, no, I think Shadow did die for our sins. He died to save the world, at least, even if not for our sins, which really is what Jesus did, you know?
You know what they say about what Jesus does? He spreads out his arms because that's how much he loves you.
He loves you this much.
I think when Jesus was sentenced to death as well, Pontius Pilate washed his hands and he said, "Sayonara, Jesus the Hedgehog."
Well, I want to say that if you're going by anything in the official English dub of Sonic Adventure 2, then you're not getting like 2/3 of the story, because the Japanese, there's loads of mistranslation errors.
Oh, that make Shadow a Christ-like figure when he's not actually one.
No, that makes Shadow a more interesting character, but it's like the one thing that Sonic 3, the movie, took from the official translation was Shadow likes Latinas. That's the only thing that they took from it.
You think Jesus the Christ like Latinas?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you get so many Latino men named Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Amy, I'm almost finished. In 10 seconds, when I'm finished, I'm gonna show him my cum. Fog.
We're talking about wheels now and how we're finally getting to the end of our movie wheel, where we've been watching or trying to watch a video game adaptation film for every week that they exist. Are there any highlights before I get to the low light where I yell for like 15 minutes?
Are you going to yell about finding Mavis Beacon?
Yes.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
We sure are.
I'll go through all the ones we saw last year. So, Gran Turismo is based on a true story where a man kills another man, but he gets away with it scot-free.
Yeah. He ran over like three Irish orphans during his Gran Turismo, and they just let him keep driving.
Gamers are killers, apparently, but the lesson of the story is that that driving cars is dangerous. It's not a game. You could kill someone, and then he kills someone, and then he's like, don't worry about it. You know, it could have happened to anyone. It's not your fault, which is a real tonal shift. Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15, starring what's his face from Breaking Bad.
Sean Bourne.
No, was it Sean Bourne?
Sean Bourne is in that movie.
He was in it, but also Jesse from Breaking Bad's in it too.
Jesse was in Gran Turismo as well.
He was actually in the Need for Speed movie.
Oh yeah, he was terrible in that. He was god awful. My pick for best video game movie is Summer of the Chew Toy Soul.
Yes.
You're right. Borderlands.
Oh, that sucks, yeah.
Despite having like it being on the wheel for the longest time, we're only Pokemon movie 6 out of 20
like
something.
Those movies are so boring.
We did watch 2003 back to back.
Because nothing happened. They're all the same storyline. And nothing really interesting happens in any of them. They like...
Ash makes out with a Latias in the most recent one we watched.
I think it's meant to be ambiguous as to who he makes out with in that.
Yeah, it is, but we know he did. Why would they make it ambiguous if it wasn't the Latias?
Moving on, the Minecraft movie, we watched that, but we watched the special edition where the visual effects weren't finished, which I found to be a much more pleasurable film watching experience.
I actually genuinely didn't hate the Minecraft movie that much.
It was fine. It was okay. It had like 2 good jokes.
It had some good old man yaoi.
Okay, I liked the Minecraft movie substantially more than any of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. All those fucking Sonic movies are fucking shit.
No.
They are all just back-to-back, tedious Jim Carrey comedy bits interspersed with... Like, anytime Jim Carrey's on the screen, I'm like, God, this is tedious. But anytime he's off the screen, I'm like, oh no, go back to Jim Carrey. This is even worse. There's the whole bit in the middle of the third movie where they're doing like the heist and the fucking like Sonic's human parents are just doing all of these like fucking like talent show level skits. It made me want to tear my eyes out.
They're bad. All the human characters are terrible apart from Robotnik and his manservant.
I kind of like his manservant, actually. Yeah. It's funny that the probably the best character of those movies is a fucking OC.
Well, they're basically all OCs. Like, Knuckles acts like nothing. I hate Knuckles. He's the worst.
So it's very simple. You create your story. You have the smart one, who is Tails, the main character who is Sonic, and that means Knuckles has to be the dumb one.
Yeah.
Because those are the 3 character archetypes.
Knuckles has canonically been the dumb one in Sonic for the whole of Sonic.
He's just naive and easily tricked. He's not stupid.
Yeah. Okay, he is stupid, though, because he like falls for the same schemes repeatedly.
He also doesn't chuckle.
He does chuckle, though. That's the first thing he does in Sonic 3 when he knocks the Chaos Emeralds out of Sonic, is he chuckles and gathers them.
What have you heard him say to describe himself, if not that he doesn't chuckle? He'd rather flex his muscles.
Muckles.
His muckles.
I think they should have introduced Metal Sonic and Amy in Sonic 3 and then made the 4th movie about Shadow, because...
It was the year of Shadow. It was the financial year of Shadow.
You miss a lot of Shadow's character arc when Amy is the one to, like, convince him to, like, save the world. But whatever. I liked Sonic 3.
It is funny that after, like, making a random, like, road trip movie, it only took them 2 movies to get back to replicating the plot of Sonic Adventure 2.
And now, I don't know, I feel like we're done, because that's, like, the peak of the franchise, if I'm honest.
Well, Jim Carrey's not going to come back unless they give him a script that cures cancer.
Nah, he'll come back. He loves playing Eggman.
He's dead!
Sonic CD has time travel?
It will be so funny if they name the movie Sonic CD. It'll be so fucking funny.
Imagine if they released the movie on a CD.
CD DVDs were a thing. George A. Romero's Resident Evil is a documentary about how George A. Romero almost made a Resident Evil movie for 15 minutes, and most of the film is just people talking about how great George A. Romero was, which fair enough, he's a very good person, good filmmaker, but like, they stretch that thing out so much.
Yeah, it's about like a commercial they filmed, right?
He filmed a commercial, which is like, it's less than 15 seconds of a commercial that no one thought was going to be, like, the actors they had for Claire and Leon, like, they didn't know anything about Resident Evil, so their insight, and they were like on set for a day, so they had no real insight. Like, they had like interviews with them about what was it like to portray Leon? And it was like, he has a gun and he's a police officer. And that's it. That's all they get out of them. Not great. Speaking of Resident Evil, we finally capped off the stunt woman killing franchise that was Resident Evil with the final chapter.
Yay.
Which is one of the funniest movies ever. It's a shame women died to make it.
Yeah, I genuinely can't. It's so sad that someone died to make that fucking film.
I can't even remember the plot of this one. They're in the desert for a lot of it.
No, that's the third one.
They've just, the White House has just been destroyed.
Yeah, the end of the previous movie was like the White House being sieged in a really exciting set piece, and then the next film was like, oh, that will happen off screen, don't worry about it.
Wesker looking over the desk, because that's what he does.
I love that image. And Mila Jovovich is like in a plane, and she's flying around trying to find survivors, and she finds Claire, who's like been brainwashed or something, or lost all her memories.
No, that's an earlier movie. That's like the fourth
Okay,
one.
I don't know what happens in this movie then.
Is this the
obviously.
one where she loses her powers and then gets them back again?
Yeah.
Is this the one where there's a million clones of her?
No, that's the fourth movie.
previous. Oh, it's the fourth
I think they brought back the laser hallway in this one.
Oh yeah,
They did.
they do,
did.
yeah.
No. That was the previous movie with Leon and Jill come back for it, and then none of us know.
Oh yeah, I remember when Jill was there. She was like standing off center while Mila Jovovich did like cool poses in the center of the frame.
Yeah,
she was like indistinctly in the background there somewhere.
we're done talking about Resident Evil. Although I am excited for the new Resident Evil film because it's made by the same director who did Barbarian and Weapons, so it's gonna fucking slap.
Oh yeah, Weapons was really good. I'm actually interested to see what he does.
Comes out in September.
Until Dawn was a sucked. It was terrible, but it did have the funny moment where it had this trap where if you drank water, you would just explode. And it's like Groundhog Day, where you're in a loop where you die, you come back, and eventually, like, you lose your soul or whatever, so you're stuck there. So, like, they have to reset the loop because they fucked something up. So, like, one of the characters just drinks water, like, that he knows will explode him, like, really, like, non-caring, nonplussed about that he's about to explode in a horrible way.
We finally watched Ready Player One. I remember.
I remember.
We watched It Came from the Desert, like, a couple days ago, which...
It's just bad.
It was just bad. It didn't make much sense. It was like, imagine, like, Eight-Legged Freaks, but, like, worse. And I actually like Eight-Legged Freaks. But the funny thing was that one of the main guys is an actor in Dark Souls and Elden Ring. He plays,
Gwyneth, I think, or Gwendolyn. It was Gwendolyn.
Yeah, well, he plays Gwendolyn in Dark Souls, which is shocking because he was an atrocious actor. He was awful in that film. I guess we've reached the point where we come to our main event, which is Seeking Mavis Beacon.
We're seeking her. We're still seeking her.
A documentary that Catsman told us about and told us we should watch.
It leaves an impression. This film is like a fucking ambush because, like, you go into it sort of expecting a film about Mavis Beacon,
who is
the famous character from Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing, a series of typing tutor games that came out in the 90s that were very, very popular. And the kind of premise of the movie is that the woman who portrayed Mavis Beacon on the box of those games is sort of semi-anonymous, and nobody is really willing to, like, talk about her and, like, who she is and, you know, like, what her whole deal was. And so the filmmakers are like, I know, I will go out and try and like find out who she is and what her deal is. Okay, so that's all very well and good.
At the start of the film, you're on their side because
Yes.
they approach it with a very like Mavis Beacon. She's a prominent black figure in a tech space where it wasn't common for black people to be in. She was an inspiration to a lot of black children growing up in the school system. Fair enough.
Yeah, and there is probably a really interesting story in there, particularly about, like the intersection of like Mavis Beacon and like capitalism and how she was actually like treated quite badly and how she was sort of like her image was commodified and how the company that made the games replaced her and they were like, no, Mavis Beacon is not this woman. Mavis Beacon is a brand name and it can be whoever we want it to be.
This was after she like sued them for defamation because they altered an image that they didn't have the rights to. So she was within her rights to do that, but they then like didn't hire her for the next sort of round of typing games.
Yeah, they went out of their way to future-proof themselves.
All of that is a very interesting story, but it is not what the documentary is about.
No.
The documentary is about these like documentarians basically doing one of two things. Number one, they are fucking around and just talking aimlessly about themselves with seemingly no interest or connection to anything that isn't about themselves. Number two, they are constructing incredibly elaborate dioramas and sort of mood spaces and talking to spiritual mediums. Or number three, they are kind of aggressively harassing the family of this woman who obviously do not want to talk to them.
Yeah, they managed to get in touch with her son, I think, and he's like, no, she doesn't want to speak to you. And then there's 20 minutes of content about nothing, and then they call him again, and he's like, no, she still doesn't want to speak to you.
Don't forget the part where they drive up to her house in the middle of the night.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it's like pitch black. It's like midnight or something, and they're at her house, and they ring the doorbell, and then, like, nobody answers.
Yeah, it's an absolute trip, because you just expect it to, like, be about something, and it's just not.
Yeah.
Not even slightly. And it's incredibly frustrating just watching them, like, just go in spirals and just, like, talk about nothing and creating these, like, bizarre, like, Adam Curtis style montages of people on the internet like reacting to things.
There's a whole section where they get like really pissed off. They have been working for free out of a community space that some guys are running.
Yeah.
And then all their stuff like gets taken down because the community space is closing because it looks like it's in a building that's bombed out.
Yeah, it's like this really disgusting, like, LA, like, building.
Yeah, and like, it looks like, I wonder how the power is even still on there. And, like, they get really pissed off at having to, like, put all their stuff back in place because the space has been used by someone else while they've been away for, like, the whole of COVID or something like that. It's, like, a really weird kind of just...
I think when they were off on their trips, it's unclear because I'm sure the documentarians took out anything that made them at fault in that bit. Because the landlord seemed relatively reasonable and nice when they were speaking with them and filming them without their permission.
Yeah, he was very apologetic. And like the thing is, I understand it's not nice to be like kicked out without warning or to have other people mess with your stuff. But also, they were in there for free in LA for like multiple years.
Yeah, and most of the stuff they had set up was like a Ouija board in the corner with the words Mavis Beacon highlighted.
Yeah, I was about to say, Bear's mentioning that about 80% of the stuff there had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
They had a tower of CRT TVs just displaying fuck all.
Yeah.
A fish tank.
I think this is the beginning of a new genre of documentary, which is just like an entirely vibes-based documentary where the one thing that you hoped to achieve in your documentary wasn't achieved, and you have to release the documentary anyway.
Yeah.
Not-umentaries.
I have been thinking about this because I listened to a podcast called Who Shat on the Floor at My Wedding? and it's a documentary series where they interview people who were at the wedding to find out who shat on the floor at the wedding, because there was a shit just left outside of the toilet cubicle, which was definitely human shit. They never, if you're going to listen to this podcast, let me spoil it for you now, they never find out who did it.
The phantom pooper.
That's like Twin Peaks. It's good.
Yeah, like Twin Peaks.
It's funny, like, it's sort of 6 episodes long. Each episode's like half an hour, 45 minutes. Like, it's funny. It's very good. Like, it's not serious at all. But you get to the end of it and it's like, oh, I kind of wanted to know who shat on the floor. I don't think you should be allowed to release a documentary series that doesn't prove the thing that you set out to like investigate. Like, this Mavis Beacon thing is, we don't know anything more about Mavis Beacon than we knew before. It's like, who in the world is thinking? I don't know who Mavis Beacon is.
And also, we waste a lot of your time.
They discover what happened, right? Because they
Yeah.
they do, to their credit,
okay,
they
yeah,
do
Yeah.
discover that like the people who made it basically lied about how the Mavis Beacon model was found, and they later like track down the. But the thing is that occupies maybe a 30-minute window of a 90-minute film.
I want to talk about that bit because these documentarians got way further than they had any right to do. At a point, they're like talking to like the developers of the game itself, and they're very nice. They interview them and they talk to them. They do all the stupid stuff they want to do, like recreating the photo shoots that they did with Mavis Beacon. And the developers very nicely hand them one-of-a-kind like material from the game and give them. But then at the end of the segment, they start painting them as the bad guys of like,
Yeah.
oh, they knew something that they didn't tell us.
It feels very two-faced.
Then they talk to the ex-wife of one of the developers, who's like this weird shut-in woman who, like...
She's like an ex-dancer or something. I don't remember her being a weird shut-in. She's just...
It's just she was a weirdo, or she gave off weird vibes, because, like, her job...
I think everyone in this gave equally weird vibes.
I thought she was all right. She seemed like a nice lady.
No, she wasn't!
That's because they're from LA.
So they interview her, and, like, she doesn't tell... Like, her job... She didn't do anything on the game at all. She was just out shopping. She shopped while her husband worked on the game. And she says that, actually, no, I found Mavis Beacon when I was shopping for jewelry or something or whatever. I don't believe a word out of that woman's mouth. I'm sorry. I don't think she cast or found Mavis Beacon at all, because the developers were like, it was very revolutionary to put a black woman on a program like this. And we had an idea for what kind of woman we were looking for, and we found this woman. And she's taken all this credit for like, oh, I found Mavis Beacon. I'm the reason this all happened. And this man, I divorced his ass.
Yeah, she brags about how she divorced him.
Yeah, he came home and I was getting the couch out, and he was like, what are you doing? This is my couch. Because she didn't have a fucking job. He probably bought that couch. And so he sat on that couch, and I had the moving man take him out on the couch. And it's like, this woman... I hate most of the people in this documentary.
She struck me as, like, really sycophantic, too.
She really wanted it to be all about her.
She definitely flattered the egos of the filmmakers, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do think there is something to it in that the developers, when they were interviewed, told two completely conflicting stories about where they found Mavis Beacon. That also contradicted stories that they'd given in the past to the press, and then posted online in a Facebook group saying that they were suspicious of these like filmmakers poking around about what they might find out about the settlement. So I think they obviously did intentionally lie.
Well, who knows?
Who knows? Who cares is a better question.
Yeah, who cares? Also, I mean,
It's such a nothing burger of a lawsuit.
It's like a documentary, but we don't get any facts.
Yeah, it's all vibe. It's vibes-based journalism.
I do think there are good aspects to the documentary as well. I actually really like the presentation. I actually do think that they sometimes get onto a really interesting line of thought and then it gets completely derailed by some random like bullshit tangent that they go down. It is the film we watched this year that I have remembered the most, which is kind of crazy considering all the films we've seen.
So it certainly made me the most angriest.
And yeah, I had a strong reaction to it. I went to see this in the cinema, and I looked it up afterwards, and I was one of like 4 people in the theater, I think, and the movie grossed like 10,000 quid or something.
I'm surprised it got a theatrical release.
Well, I saw it at my local weird cinema, but this is the exact kind of bullshit that I love going to see at the local weird cinema, and I'm glad that I saw it. Because I think this movie is art.
It's nearly 2 hours of nothing.
This movie says a lot about our society. This would have been an amazing 25-minute YouTube video.
Yeah, it's on that level. The only thing that doesn't is that there's very nice graphic design in transitions and like vox pop face-to-camera interviews that they do, where the content of which is just the interviewee being like, oh yeah, I knew Mavis Beacon. I played it.
Yeah, I saw Mavis Beacon in the 90s. She taught typing, right? It's that for like 10 minutes.
Interviewing people on the street and being like, do you know who Mavis Beacon is? Like, no. But here's my fucking here's my
life
rap
story.
single. Here's my rap single.
One of my friends moved to Pasadena last year, and he says it's exactly like that.
Oh, Lord.
And everyone is also like an out-of-work actor.
Welcome to Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing, version 3, for multimedia Windows.
I would do a segment about the TV that may or may not have
we're out of
fallen off
time.
the wall, but we're out of time.
It's wrestling.
Well,
in
let's do it
7
next
minutes.
It's
yeah.
wrestling, so we'll do it next time.
Next
Tell
time.
you what, it'll be bumped up. It'll be the first thing we do next podcast.
Well,
Definitely.
we can
First
record
thing.
again quite quickly now
Definitely.
because I think we have a lot of things that we didn't talk about because we did a lot of business. So as soon as I'm back from Malaysia, truly Asia, we'll get on this again.
Yeah, and we'll do a podcast that's not about video games at all to make up for this one.
We've made a New Year's resolution where we record a podcast a month on the 3rd Saturday of that month.
And we're going to
Whether that
break
is
it next month.
Whether that's a Pocket Monster Manual session or a UFO 50 session or a GDV session, we're not going to release just 2 podcasts a year. It's not a biannual.
I guess I'll close us out. Nous étions déjeuner.org.uk.
Où est la piscine?
New Vosges.
Je t'aime la piscine.
Nouveau riche.
La prochaine fois.
Do you know the numbers in French? What's 19 in French?
19.
19! Got him!
Who's Steve Jobs?
I want you to know, I looked up my actual source for TV that fell off the wall. Why are you
We
laughing?
won't be discussing it.
Hold on, we can't talk about this now because if Bran shows up,
Oh, no, yeah. No.
it'll break our flow.
Yeah, absolutely. But I looked it up because it's multiple years old now. So I looked it up, and did you know what I confirmed?
It didn't fall off the wall.
Didn't fall off the wall.
Holy
Damn.
fucking shit!
This item will actually be entitled "TV that didn't fall off the wall."
Why the fuck are we here?
Why is anything here?
I don't know if I want to talk about a TV that didn't fall off a wall.
Well,
That's just the TV.
tell you what, if we've got time, we'll talk about the TV that didn't fall off the wall. But we can push it to the back of the agenda.
We also watched some Lumilin films like Summer of the Chew Toy Soul and Only Interstellar Pinball Lives Forever, which are high concept, low budget, independent films about a hand puppet who has to exist with his dad in a summer where nothing happens as he slowly approaches ego death.
Yeah.
And another film where he ponders immortality by putting everyone's consciousness inside of a pinball so they can all live in a pinball machine forever. The prime line being where he says, oh, okay, Jesus can be a pinball too. I mean, I think only intellectuals should be allowed to, but sure, go for it.
There's recently been an E3 prototype build of Shadow the Hedgehog released, in which Shadow says to Sonic, "I didn't come here to save your ass, Sonic."
That was sweet, Shadow. Yeah, well, I'm not here to save your ass.
There's a lot more swearing that was recorded for early versions of Shadow the Hedgehog. He apparently, according to his voice actor, he recorded a lot of lines with the word fuck in, just in case they wanted to release it as a mature title.
Die, you bastard!
It was going to be released as a mature title, and then there were only mature and E ratings before, and then the teen rating came in a few months before Shadow the Hedgehog's release, so they put it out as a teen rating instead.
Split the difference. Makes sense.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
Where's that fucking fourth Chaos Emerald, Sonic?
God, I would love to play the fuck cut.
Yeah, if that ever releases, you know we're going to be on that shit.
Yeah.
One badass hedgehog. Come!
Henry, sleep in peace. Here's your favorite sexy doll. She'll comfort you.
Sexy doll.
I wanted to see you one last time. Cork, darling, I love you, but I guess this is our goodbye. No!
You were able to save the world from the attack of Cactus Man, but you cannot save Sexy Doll.
Hopeless! She called him hopeless, and that really hurt Cork deeply. Cork was so depressed he really did lose hope. He turned into a worthless bum. Do you know the doll named Cork? Hey, I know this boy so well. He couldn't save his sexy doll.
He ended up in hell.
As far as Texas gunmen go, he's chicken through and through.
There is no bigger coward, no. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah!
Egg murderer! It's a crime! It's a crime!
Lock him up for 500 years. No, he shall get a death penalty.
I hear ya! I hear ya! Yeah, kill the bum and send him to hell!
Roger that. Egg murderer Cork. Go to cell number 577. The defendant, Cork. According to the Toy Penal Code 99, you are sentenced to death. You'll be hung at 6 o'clock and go directly to hell.
No way!
According to the toy Bible I read a long time ago, you'll go to hell for sure if you're executed. See?
You mean I can rendezvous with Sexy Doll if they hang me?
Yep, that's the deal.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Don't get too excited. Isn't it time for an execution?
Guess what, Cork? You're leaving death row! To be hung right now!
sexy doll. We'll be together again. Soon. What was that for? I wanted to die.
After you left, I checked the toy Bible again, and I realized I remembered it wrong. You see, the type of hell in which sexy doll is being held is called toy hell. It's the hell toys go through if the toys get buried in the grave along with its owner. If you die in any other way, you just go to plain old hell, which is not what sexy doll is waiting for you.
That wouldn't have been
Yeah,
good.
that was close, my friend. If I'd shown up a minute later, you'd have died for nothing.
That'll teach me to listen to you. I even found my new owner. Look at that kid.
Here, we can use this and shoot that kid. Catch! Now's the chance. Shoot him.
Me? I'm the one to shoot him?
Oh. My poor Jeremy. Oh, sleep in peace. Here, I'll put your favorite toy on the doll with you.
Oh, yeah. I can meet my darling sexy doll at last.
How I missed you, honey. But don't come over here, darling.
Sexy doll.
This monster makes short work of you.
Zodic! You cannot get away with this, you mother! Woohoo! I won!
Darling, you're wonderful.
My dear sexy doll.